Coming, New York's two teams meeting in a game that counted. But a short time before, John Olerud and the Masons stunned the Bombers. A three-run first inning included Todd Hundley stealing of home. And the entire team pouring from the dugout in a postseason-like celebration. At the end of a half inning, Andy Pettit returned to his dugout in solitary frustration. A frustration that grew team-wide as the Yanks left man after man on base. Meanwhile, Dave Malecki's sense of history was impeccable, waiting for last night to record his first complete game and shutout. Now it's game two, and the Yankees have David Wells taking the mound because Wells never made it past the first inning on Saturday. A fact that first angered, now pleases the Yankees as much as its 800 winning percentage at Yankee Stadium.
Live from the WP11, this is New York Yankees baseball.
From Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, WP11 Sports proudly presents New York Yankees baseball. Tonight, the Yankees continue their Subway Series as they once again meet the New York Mets. Well, back at Yankee Stadium, as you can see, another capacity crowd for this Subway Series. Not a seat left in the house, at the house that Ruth built. Oh, it's always fun to be able to play, not in a Mayor's Trophy game with the New York Mets, but in a game that means something, and it certainly means something for the Yankees tonight. As you take a look at David Wells' numbers, he gets a second chance, and the reason that he is pitching tonight is because the Yankees game against the Florida Marlins was rained out on Saturday, so he gets a chance to redeem himself. Let's take a look at the lineup brought to you by McDonald's. First of all, for the Mets, Lance Johnson leads it off for the Amazons, followed by Bernard Gilkey. John Olerud with that sweep swing batting third. Todd Hundley, the switch hitter, batting in the cleanup spot. Husky, the designated hitter. Here we are in the American League Park, so they get to use the DH. And Carl Everett will bat seventh. Baerga, Franco, and then Luis Lopez. You know, the Mets, they've gone through about 3 or 4 different shortstops.
Well, defensively for the New York Yankees tonight, Whitman left, Chad Curtis in center. Paul O'Neill will be in right field. Charlie Hayes at third, Derek Jeter at short, Luis Sojo in there at second, Tino Martinez at first, Joe Girardi doing the catching, and David Wells on the mound. Luis Sojo back in the lineup. Pat Kelly had been there for a few days, but Joe Torre is switched second baseman. It seems to be sort of a rotation out at second as well.
You better get a couple of hits or you're out of the lineup. And the Yanks hope to get some runs tonight. They were shut out by the Mets last night. And we are ready to go in game 2 of this 3-game series. Lance Johnson leads it off as the Mets get their center fielder back, and Lance Johnson off the DL last night. The New York Yankees placed Bernie Williams on the disabled list. Strike one to Johnson. A .282 hitter, 13 RBIs. And he hits it hard right side, so the Amazons get it started here at the top of the first inning as their leadoff man is on.
Well, Johnson, who led the National League in hits last year, has also led the American League in hits. This time he gets a breaking ball, kind of hangs middle of the plate, and he jerks it. Here's a guy who hits from line to line, but is a good high ball hitter. That pitch was up in the zone, and he drilled it right through the hole. The Mets are off to a fairly good start tonight.
And Johnson with some speed at first base, so Wells will have to pay attention to him. And Bernard Gilkey will step in. Gilkey batting only .209. He has 6 home runs, 29 RBIs. A good athlete. Johnson takes off. Big jump. They may turn it into a double play. Look at Sojo. Man, did that work out perfect for the Yankees.
Sojo and Jeter having a conversation out at second. Well, Johnson wants to prove that he's healthy, so he's off and running. But the fact that he is moving, Sojo's going to cover second base, and the ball is hit directly to him. All he has to do is step on the bag, avoid Johnson, and make a throw. Nice throw across the body. What a play by Sojo.
And look how pumped up David Wells is. So some good defensive support for Wells, and 2 gone as John Olerud steps in. Up high for a ball to Olerud. How in the world did Toronto give up on John Olerud is beyond my comprehension. I guess they expected him to hit a little bit more long ball for them than what he did, but He's a quiet guy with a swing that really is explosive. It does the talking for him.
He got the hit off Andy Pettit in the first inning last night. They got the Mets off and running. You're right. Sweet swing. Plus the fact he's a good first baseman. He only made 2 errors all of last season for the Blue Jays. And what makes matters worse, the Blue Jays are paying a major part of his salary.
Yeah, Olerud with Hundley on deck. He led the American League in fielding at first base last year, as a matter of fact. And this pitch slashed off to the left side out of play, so the count goes to 2-2 with 2 gone here at the top of the first inning. And you can't say enough about the winning percentage that David Wells has here at Yankee Stadium. And the Yankees would like to even this series tonight.
Well, the fans are getting into it as Olerud has a couple of strikes on it.
Another slashing foul left side. He's the kind of guy, Olerud is, with his bat. Mechanically, there's not anything that you could point out that he does wrong. No over movement in his hands, no over movement in his lower or his upper body. Hand position is perfect.
He kind of reminds me of Paul O'Neill in his approach to hitting. Uses all the field.
This is hit out into left field, and Whitten is there. So the Yankees and David Wells take care of the Mets here at the top of the first, having his finest year. And the Mets could be happier about that. Let's take a look at the Yankees lineup, brought to you by McDonald's. Jeter, Soho, O'Neill, Fielder, Martinez, Hayes, Whit, Curtis, and then Girardi. And the first pitch to Jeter up high for a ball.
Defensively for the New York Mets, Bernard Gilkey in left field. Lance Johnson back in the lineup in center. Carl Everett in right field. Franco, Lopez, Baerga, Olerud, Hundley, and Reynoso.
And that pitch outside, so the count goes in the favor 2-0.
Gilkey had a couple assists last night. Leads the major leagues with 11 assists, so he is somebody to be reckoned with, not only with the bat at times, but certainly with the glove out in left field.
Cut fastball, 2-0, and it's in there for a strike. Jeter, 265 hitter, 4 home runs, 30 RBIs. He went 1 for 5 last night against Malicki.
With Reynoso, you never know what's coming. He throws a little bit of everything.
And changes speeds on everything. And this ball hit hard back up the middle. Look at Lopez. It's short. He knocks it down, but he's unable to throw out Jeter. So a base hit for Jeter. In fact, it was Jeter who got the first hit for the Yankees last night in the first inning.
Well, I think the Yankees have to come out with a different attitude in tonight's game than they did last night, Bobby. I think they got to come out with one of these attitudes like you hear in basketball and you hear in football. Not in our house. We have to get the job done here at Yankee Stadium. As you see, a tremendous effort by Lopez. He wouldn't have had a chance to throw Jeter out with his speed.
Not a whole lot you can do with the way Malicki pitched last night. And he was unbeatable. I mean, he got that curveball over each and every time he needed to.
We just saw a look at Ray Ordonez, the young shortstop for the Mets, who is quite acrobatic and makes tremendous plays, but I don't think anybody would have thrown out Jeter.
Soho steps in. The one thing about Reynoso, he has got the best pickoff move in baseball. And that pitch down low and outside. He is quick as a cat. And before you know it, he's got you picked off at first or second.
He's picked off 30 men in the last 2+ seasons. Wow.
And Jeter a threat to steal with 9 stolen bases.
Joel, did you see that little head bob? And Jeter was headed back to first.
You know what that reminds me of? You remember Louis T?
Oh, yeah.
Well, no doubt. Well, both of these clubs have been scouted and scouted well. And, of course, the scouts have said, watch out for his pickoff move at first base. So after reading those reports and what he has done in his career, you got to be careful.
This is when he's most dangerous, when he's holding the ball in his hand before he goes to the glove. He's very quick from that position.
And the 2-0 pitch taken in there for a called strike. Now it's 2-1.
You know, once he comes to the set position, he's not quite as quick. And he seems to make a perfect pickoff throw when he really wants to pick you off. He'll set you up by throwing over a little slower, But then when he wants to make that pickoff move, that throw is right there, right on the money.
And you just saw it. I don't think that was his best pickoff move, but you saw how quick he was to first base.
In fact, the Mets have used him to teach the rest of their staff how to pick people off.
There goes Jeter, and the hit and run is on, but Soho fouls it out of play. And Jeter will go back to first base. Mariano Duncan, no matter what you hit, and your career is against Reynoso, you're going to be riding the pines. 538, that is what he is against Reynoso. But the wires are hot here at Yankee Stadium, and it looks like a trade for Duncan is imminent. On the other hand, it's a 2-ball, 2-strike count to Soho. Nobody out here in the bottom of the first. No score. And it's popped up. Olerud takes charge. And there's one gone.
Well, that was a major league off-speed pitch. He had a big head bob for Jeter at first, and then he threw like a spinner up to the plate, and Soho is way out in front. Now they say that Reynoso throws a cutter, a forkball, a screwball, a curve, changes speeds on everything. He must have a fastball somewhere in there, and has different deliveries. So you're looking at multiple deliveries and multiple changes of speeds.
And that'll bring up Paul O'Neill with Jeter on at first. O'Neill was last night, batting .320. 11 home runs, 47 RBI, and another quick throw to first base, and Jeter just underneath that tag.
Watch the throw. It is low into the bag, and that's where he makes his perfect pickoff. Look at that right there. So the first baseman Olerud can just drop the glove. If I were a pitcher, I'd work on my pickoff throws. I'd put a bucket over at first base, just take a bucket of balls on the mound and just practice throwing it into that bucket right on the bag.
I don't think I've ever seen Jeter as intense at first base leading off as he is right now. On the other hand, if you're a hitter, you really got to be patient at the plate. If you think Reynoso is taking too much time and he's messing around with a runner at first base, just step out and start all over again. So you have to be patient if you're a hitter.
They've got a list in the Mets press guide of Armando Reynoso's pickoffs since '93, and there's some big-time names on this list. Throw to first, and Jeter is back. How about Bip Roberts, Tony Gwynn, Brett Butler, Greg Jeffries, Deion Sanders, Marquise Grissom twice, Moises Alou, Ozzie Smith, Al Martin. That's just a few. He even got Carl Everett, his teammate, once.
That's outside and low. 2-0 now to O'Neill. Now Reynoso. Paul O'Neill, since May the 31st, that covers like 14 games, and really been odd, and Paul has been stinging the ball towards the opposite way, and when he does that, you know he is on. This is high and fairly deep into center field. Johnson going back and right on the warning track, makes the catch, and Jeter quickly gets back to first base. 2 gone. Just got in on him a little bit.
Just enough. Didn't quite get the extension. And one of the keys to this play, as you see O'Neill swing and follow through, just didn't quite get it all. Lance Johnson in center field held his hand up, which kind of signaled to me that he was going to make the catch. This is before he actually made the catch here. He held his left hand up as if he were telling his other outfielders, I got this one, and he had it.
And one of the game's best outfielders, Lance Johnson, as Cecil Fielder steps in. 2 outs, 1 man on here at the bottom of the first. Cecil takes one right down Broadway. I guess that's appropriate here in New York with the 2 teams playing. Strike 1 to Cecil. Well, it's just a bundle of nerves for David Wells in this second game of the Subway Series. Nice stop by Hundley. 1-1 to count.
Everybody points to Hundley's offense. Actually, defensively, he's become very solid and improved every year, both offensively and defensively. Breaking ball in the dirt. And how many times have we mentioned the catchers who make these plays that save their team a runner moving up a base? And in this case, it kept Jeter out of scoring position.
And that's the hardest one that you can try to knock down, is that breaking ball that spins back away after it hits the ground. Jeter takes off, and the pitch is swung on and fouled over the Yankee dugout. Well, Jeter had a big jump then. So despite the good pickoff move by Reynoso, Jeter's going to challenge it.
It looked like Jeter got a fairly good jump, but Cecil swings at the pitch and fouls it off, as he should. Looked to be a hanging breaking ball.
1 ball, 2 strike count, the fielder. And a check swing foul this time. So a bunch of souvenirs as Fielder is the 4th hitter in this inning. Of course, the Yankees would like Cecil, and Cecil would like also to start hitting a little bit more of the long ball than what he has up until this date. Only 6 home runs. He has 40 RBIs.
Yeah, it looked like a breaking ball grip, and it was a curve. Reynoso started out in the Mexican League and was purchased from the Mexican League. A million different pitches. Yeah, that's about right. Purchased from the Mexican League by the Atlanta Braves. Then he went to the Rockies in the expansion draft and was traded to the Mets this past offseason for Jerry Dipoto, a reliever.
Jeter takes off again, and the pitch is popped up right side. And this will be back into the stand. So they're going to wear Jeter out before this game gets into the second inning. Look at him. He looks like he's been playing about 8 or 9 innings already.
Well, he'll tell you it's great to be young and a Yankee.
2 outs, nobody on, no score yet. Well, it's a beautiful night for baseball. It's not that hot. It's not that humid. A little overcast here at the stadium.
And a full house. Wow.
That'll heat things up. Look at Jeter. He's worn out. Reynoso has worn him out. Look at him.
This is a challenge. I think it's a challenge for Reynoso to try and pick him off. He hasn't done it yet.
And it's a challenge for Jeter to try to steal a base on him. There he goes again, and the pitch is swung on, strike 3. So Jeter has no chance to take a base this time, and the Yankees leave another man on here in the first inning. They played 1. And Cecil strikes out, no score. Second inning with the Mets coming to the plate. 1 hit apiece for New York. And you can say New York, it could be either the Mets or the Yankees. And Todd Hundley will lead it off here. A switch hitting catcher in the second inning. And strike 1 to Hundley. Hundley batting .291, 15 home runs, 44 RBIs. But when you turn him around on the right side, the switch hitter, he doesn't have as much power hitting from the right side as he does the left. As Wells hits it outside, that leaves the count up at 1-1. But what a year he had last year. All-time record for home runs by a catcher in one season. 42. And it's a 2-ball, 1-strike count.
Another thing for him, Bob, he's in there just about every single day. He caught more games than any other catcher last year. And I guess it's hard for any manager to take a catcher out of the lineup. He's hitting so many home runs.
Up high. You know, you talked about Wells not happy with that pitch. You talked about Hundley really making the major leagues because of his defensive attributes. But it has been his hitting that everybody has been talking about. And each and every year he just seems to get a little bit better. Swings at a bad pitch out of the strike zone. Now it's 3-2. Really, like a lot of the guys, he went to the weights.
Chases a pitch, and Hundley's walked quite a bit. 88-mile-per-hour fastball passes him upstairs, and he passed up a walk looking for the heater.
Fouled out of play. And in this capacity crowd, you're going to get a lot of souvenirs, and who knows, it could be a New York Mets souvenir, it could be a Yankee souvenir.
Now, this is one of those nights where your chances of getting a souvenir baseball are really diminished when you have a full house. It's not going to fall into an empty seat next to you.
The crowd has been very gracious, especially during the first game. They enjoyed the Mets victory, and you heard most of the Mets fans here cheering, obviously. Another foul back and out of play. There was some talk about, excuse me, Kane, there was some talk about the fans, and as Nestlin Doubleday enjoys it over towards the Mets side, obviously. But the fans, there was some talk about them being maybe unruly here at Yankee Stadium. Certainly we haven't seen that. Another foul back and out of play.
They were talking about the big crowds here the last night, 56,188, and tonight's crowd certainly should rival that one. But Bobby, you played in front of big crowds, and as a former player, didn't that pump you up a little bit more?
Absolutely. It seems like if you're going to play baseball and you want to perform, you might as well perform over a big crowd. And you can see some Yankee diehards here tonight. And this pitch, high fly ball into left field. One gone. It just seems to bring you up to another level when you have a big crowd, that, especially if you know they're on your side.
Yeah. Well, even when you're on the road, sometimes you want to keep those people quiet. So sometimes it brings your performance out of you as well. And Butch Husky had a good night here last night, but he did have a little support in the crowd. There are some Met fans here.
Well, the great thing about it, there's granddads, there's dads, there's uncles, there's sons, there's nieces and nephews, and they all are rooting for somebody, either the Mets or the Yankees. And Butch Husky steps in with one gone. Husky, the designated hitter for the Mets here at Yankee Stadium in the American League. And looks like about maybe at least 3 generations there. That's what it's all about. And a check swing, a little looper out to the right side, and Soho puts it away. 2 gone.
Hey, you think about this series on family terms. You know, there must be some families that are parts of the family are Mets fans and other parts are Yankee fans.
Oh, yeah.
This could be tough.
No doubt about it. I mean, you will see that 3 generations, and you'll have one that has a Yankee shirt on, one that has a Mets shirt on, and then one that has a divided shirt on, a Yankee and a Met.
Could make for some silent dinners till game time.
Absolutely. Carl Everett will step in with 2 gone here in the second inning. No score.
Ooh. How about that? At least they're talking.
Right now they're talking.
Yeah,
okay?
okay.
No score. Outside and low. That'll leave the count up at 1-1 on Everett. Only 25 years old, and a good-looking young prospect. He's getting a chance to play here now with the Mets. Yankees lost him. He was a Yankee draft pick, and the Yankees ended up losing him in an expansion draft. Went to the Florida Marlins. Now with the New York Mets, and getting a chance to play.
One thing about David Wells, he fell behind Hundley leading off this inning. He came back and got him out. He's not going to walk you if he can help it. He throws strikes.
Good pitch by Wells, and it's 2-2.
This is a tough pitch for a hitter to hit. A fastball that kind of ties you up in this area. It's hard to drop the bat and then get it back up and out on top of the fastball as you swing underneath it. That is a tough pitch to hit, but it's also a tough pitch to throw.
Hit hard, but foul.
Now, the reason why Everett was able to hit that last one, it was a little bit lower. And when he started to drop the bat from that shoulder position, all he did was continue to the baseball. The other one, he had to kind of stop and try and get it back up again. Couldn't do it.
He just needs a little bit more patience. Couldn't find himself in 1996. Bobby Valentine really likes the talent and the tools that this young man has. He's got a gun in the outfield. Hit hard again, but look who's there. Charlie Hayes. Everett did all he could do, and that makes the Yankee fans happy. Second inning as the Yankees come to bat. Not a seat in the house for anybody. If you don't have a ticket, thanks for watching it here on the WB11. And Tino Martinez leads it off for the Yankees here in the second. Tino batting .299. His average now has slipped below 300. 21 home runs, 61 RBIs. Reynoso misses outside. Now it's 2-0.
If a guy's sitting on the bench and they look up at the scoreboard, they see Tino hitting .299. They say this is a key at bat. Get a hit, you're back over 300.
And that's low and inside, and Reynoso has fallen behind 3-0. Well, just because your average is below 300 doesn't mean that the 21 home runs, which is third best in the American League, and those 61 RBIs, which is second best in the American League. And the Yankees take a leadoff walk here in the second inning. So Martinez is on. Bob Apodaca, the pitching coach for the New York Mets. We'll talk more about him, but there's a lot of positive talk from the Mets about how he has turned his pitching staff around with all the injuries that they've had with the pitchers that they were really counting on for 1997. They're not here. They're on the disabled list.
We're talking about Tino and the batting average. Bob Bailey, former teammate of mine, used to say your batting average will go up and down, but those home runs and RBIs, they can't take them away.
That's true. And Reynoso now having a problem finding the strike zone.
Let's go back to last night. Dave Malicki, part of the shutout, maybe one of the reasons, as Charlie Hayes led off an inning with a shot down the line. Bernard Gilkey makes a heck of a play and throws out Charlie Hayes with the Yankees down by plenty. That's something you don't like to see.
Line down the line. This to trouble. Gilkey over. Martinez on his way to third. He'll be in there, and Hayes moves into second. 2 men on, nobody out, and Hayes doesn't have to worry about the throw from Gilkey this time. It's the first time I've seen the Yankees really come up with some spirit as Hayes claps at second base.
Well, here's the pitch. It seems to be a fastball up and in, and Charlie brings the arms in and drills it down to the left field corner. Watch him bring his arms in on the swing. Turn that body, the upper body, and the ball is headed for that 318 side, and Gilkey cuts it off before it gets there. Bernard Gilkey maybe keeping Tino Martinez from scoring. That ball starts to bounce around in the corner. Charlie Hayes might have had an RBI.
All right, the Yankees with something going on here in the second as Whitten steps in. Nobody out. And it's inside for a ball. Whitten last night 1 for 4. And he is a career .429 hitter against Reynoso. He has done some kind of job against him with a home run. And he's got a chance to do more. Now low ball 2-0. First base is open. Martinez on at third. There's Charlie down at second. And Baerga now with a little chat with Reynoso.
Joe Torre going with the numbers. We mentioned Charlie Hayes hits well against Reynoso, and Joe has him in there at second straight night against a right-handed starter. Those computer printouts, they'll help you.
Didn't help nothing. Down low, ball 3-0. Thing about Reynoso from the hitter standpoint, just because it's 3-0 or 2-0 and a hitter's count doesn't mean that he's going to throw it right down the middle. pitch is not down the middle. It's low, and Mark Whitten is on, and the bases are loaded for the Yankees.
Well, let's look at the sequence of pitches as Bobby Valentine heads out to the mound. Missed with a cutter for ball 1. Looked like a splitter for ball 2. Something moving again, ball 3. And ball 4. 4 straight pitches, and Whitten is aboard. And Bob Apodaca out to the mound to talk it over with Reynoso. And you know, right now he's probably telling him, let's practice damage control here. If they score 1 run and you get out of this inning, you've done a heck of a job. But try and make sure that the Yankees don't really just pour on and have a real big inning this inning.
Well, whatever Apodaca was saying to Reynoso, he wasn't kidding around about it, didn't seem like. I mean, he was to the point. Reynoso didn't say anything. Apodaca was doing all the talking, and when he was through, he just turned around and started back to the Mets dugout. And the bases are loaded for the Yankees. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 2nd. And Chad Curtis will get a chance to put the Yankees on board. Curtis 0 for 4 last night. And ball 1 to Curtis. Chad Curtis maybe looking like a pretty good pickup now that Bernie Williams has been placed on the DL. Reynoso finally finds the strike zone. It's 1-1 to Curtis.
He's kind of dealt himself a bad hand here in the 2nd inning, walking 2 and giving up the double. All of a sudden there's Yankees everywhere, and the Yankee fans getting a chance to let loose.
The Yankees did not score last night on Malicki, and this pitch fouled back and out of play. But with the bases loaded, a 1-2 count now to Curtis. These are the type of situations that you look for, especially early on in the game, that can set your own tone for the rest of the game, especially in your own home park. It was the Mets who struck first last night with 3 runs. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So a big strikeout for Reynoso, and there's 1 gone.
Well, 2nd strikeout of the ball game, and this is how he did it. Started him off with a slider for a ball. Fastball, moving fastball for a strike. Another one is fouled off. Then an off-speed pitch strikes him out. Looked like a splitter, maybe a change, but Curtis well out in front. A big strikeout for Reynoso.
Curtis got a good pitch to hit, and he found it back and out of play.
Yep.
So Girardi will try to pick up Curtis as he bats with 1 gone, bases loaded. And another good stop by Hundley behind home plate. Well, Girardi last night with his .243 average, he got 3 hits. He was 3 for 4 against Malicki. And the fans really into it here in the 2nd inning. They play Girardi to hit the ball the opposite way. Another foul back. I don't know if I've seen so many foul balls so early on by both sides, that is.
I think Reynoso is tough to hit because he has so many different pitches, and when you get the fastball, you're just a little bit late. We saw Curtis late on the 1 swing and Girardi on this one. But a major difference here, he has shown Girardi that fastball early in the count. Pretty good.
Yeah, Girardi has done an excellent job with the bases loaded. He'd like to up that average a little bit here. Another foul back out of play. So now Reynoso works in front of Girardi 1 and 2 with Jeter waiting on deck. in the gap, left center field. Coming over is Gilkey. It falls in front of Gilkey. Martinez is going to score. Here comes Whitten, and the throw is in time. Charlie Hayes is thrown out at home, and there's 2 away.
Well, Hayes kind of held up thinking the ball might be caught. It's cut off by Olerud, and Hayes can't make it from second base and is tagged out by Hudley. Now you got to know where the outfielders are, and I think this is a base hit right from the start. Gilkey was playing a little bit more towards left. Hayes got a slow start from second, and it cost him at home plate. Here's Martinez scoring. Here comes Charlie Hayes attempting to score. The relay from Olerud is right there for Hundley to drop the tag on Charlie Hayes. Now Joe Torre is out arguing with the umpire, getting in the way of Charlie Hayes when he was attempting to score from second. Now as he was leaving second base, this might be the reason why he got a late jump at second base. I thought it was because he didn't know where the outfielders were and thought the ball might be caught. That was a base hit right from the start.
Well, of course, if you were a base runner, you want to make sure that the outfielder doesn't catch the ball and double you up. So a lot of times they will hesitate and wait.
The umpire is Mike Everett. Now he is a fill-in for Rick Reed, the usual umpire with this crew. There's the base hit. Charlie Hayes is off and running. There's the umpire right here. Does he get in the way in Charlie Hayes? They're both looking at the ball in the outfield. There it is. There's the collision right at second base. And Charlie Hayes could not score, as he might have been able to score if he had not come in contact with the umpire.
Well, that's just one of those unfortunate things. And Charlie, good job by our camera crew picking that up, because clearly Charlie Hayes and Everett had a big collision in between second and third.
Joe Torre made his point, because you could see that clearly from the Yankee dugout. Everybody's watching the ball, but somebody down there saw the collision and told Joe about it. If not Joe himself saw it originally.
I don't know if you could call interference on the umpire.
Nah, I don't think so.
You can on the opposing team.
The umpire should have been out of the way of Charlie Hayes, that's for sure.
I agree with that. Nevertheless, there's 2 gone. The Yankees lead it 1-0. And Derek Jeter will step in for the second time. Runners at first and third for the Yankees.
Once again, a look at the base hit. Tino Martinez starts back in case the ball is going to fall in. He sees it's not going to be caught. He scores. Hayes has already been interfered with, and he is out at home plate. And Whitten was at third before Charlie got to the plate.
Now low, ball 2 to Jeter. Jeter with a base hit to lead it off for the Yankees in the bottom of the first. There's Whitten now at third, and Girardi on at first. And Jeter would like to put another runner across home plate with a base hit here. Jeter went around a little bit too far, so it's a strike, and it's 2-1.
You might notice that Joe Girardi has a very short lead over at first. Now, he was with the Colorado Rockies and played with Reynoso. So he knows if you've played with this guy and take a big lead or play against him, you're playing with fire. So you don't want to get picked off with 2 outs.
That is a big lead for Girardi. Foul left side.
I mean, if he falls back head first, he'll be in foul territory.
He's gonna fall over the back. Good point. And Girardi asking Willie Randolph to go through the signs with a 2-ball, 2-strike count. 2 gone here in the bottom of the second. Bobby Mercer along with Ken Singleton. Thanks for joining us. Second game of this Subway Series. An exciting series it is. Whoa. Reynoso's got all the moves. And why not? If you can do something to catch somebody else asleep to get you out of a jam, why not try it? The only problem with Reynoso, his reputation precedes himself. Down low, ball 3, so Girardi will be off with this pitch on 3-2.
Well, so far he's tried to make his out pitch that splitter where he takes something off of it. He struck out Curtis. Joe Girardi was watching in the on-deck circle. He said he's not going to get me with that pitch, and got a base hit on it. Let's see what he does 3-2 to Derek Jeter.
Girardi takes off. It's hit high and deep into left field. Gets the on the run, and he's not going to get it. Off the wall and left. 1 run will score. Girardi on his way to home plate. He will score. And the Yankees now lead it 3-0. Something that the Yankees didn't do last night was key hit with men on base. And now the Yankees have something to cheer about, the Yankee fans, that is.
Derek Jeter with a big 2-out hit and moves into double figures and doubles. This is his 10th double of the year. Didn't miss a home run by much. Remember, Jeter has moved off the plate. This fastball is on the inner half. He's been having problems with this pitch all year. Turns on it here and just misses a homer. It is a home run in many parks in the American League, and I can tell you the National League as well. See Witten just waiting to see if the ball falls in. He scores easily. Here comes Girardi. Well, the Yankees' 3rd run scoring all the way from first base.
Of course, Girardi was off with that 3-2 pitch, so he had a running start. And the Yankees lead it 3-0. So Soho gets a chance to try to drive Jeter in at second. Soho 0 for 1 tonight. He popped up his first time up. And look at the Yankee fans now. They've got something to cheer about. Last night it was pretty silent as far as the Yankee fans were concerned here at Yankee Stadium. Jeter with a 2-out double that scored 2 runs for the Yankees. And Corey Lytle now warming up in the Met bullpen. So Reynoso having trouble here in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Something Bobby Valentine really didn't have to worry much about last night with Malicki. 2-0 pitch in there for a call strike. Now it's 2-1. Well, the Yankees with 3 second basemen, and Joe Torre a little bit strapped on his versatility, and the worried look on Apodaca's face about Reynoso. The middle and off the kneecap of Reynoso. He's hurt. The ball goes into the dugout, and Jeter will come on to score. It'll be a double, ground rule double, and Reynoso is hurt. I mean, he took a full shot. It looked like it was off of the kneecap. And quickly, the Met trainer out to look at Reynoso, along with Bobby Valentine and a host of the infielders.
Wow. See, Luis Sojo concerned. He's halfway between second base and the mound. Certainly you're not out here to hurt anybody, and that ball was hit like a rocket. Reynoso just didn't have enough time to get out of the way or get a glove on it.
Boy, he went down and he is in some pain.
Here's another look at it. Now the target is low and outside. I bet you the pitch is towards the middle of the plate. It is. And this is a solid line drive off the left knee. And Reynoso immediately crumples in pain.
Well, you can imagine the ball went all the way into the Mets dugout. I mean, that's just how solid of a hit that left knee took off of Reynoso.
Soho still standing up now between first and second.
And they may have to put Reynoso on a stretcher and maybe take him off. Out with the New York Mets now is Gene Monahan, the New York Yankees head trainer.
Along with Mets trainer Fred Hina and their assistant Steve Lawrenson.
And they won't take any chances on having Reynoso to try to walk off the field. They'll just take him off in that cart.
That's the Mets trainer Fred Hina right there, who today became a new daddy. Well, not a new daddy, it's the third time. So congratulations to him and his wife Gina. But now he, at this point, he has some pressing problems with Armando Reynoso, the Mets starter.
And of course, a round of applause for Reynoso, just like everybody else. They hope that he is all right. I think Reynoso has done some kind of job for the Mets this year. He comes in with a 5-0 record. Let's take another look at it.
Yeah, you toss in that 5-0 with a 2.63 earned run average, which is in the top 10 in the National League. And here's another look at, a solid line drive. Some breaking pitches that he's going to throw at the Yankees tonight.
Well, that's split finger. What is that? That's the pitch of the 90s.
Yeah.
Everybody learns to throw the split finger. Talking about Reynoso, and of course that's always a fear of hitting the ball back up the middle, not only for the batter but also for the pitcher. But have you ever hit somebody?
At Fenway Park in Boston, hit a line drive back through the middle, hit Mike Torres in the head. And the ball went all the way out near the green monster in left field. Jim Rice picked it up, threw it in, helped me to a single. Torres stayed in the ball game, got Eddie Murray to hit into a double play, then left for the hospital after he finished the inning.
That's Joe McIlvaine, the general manager for the New York Mets, along with assistant GM Steve Phillips.
So Mike Torres, who had been a former teammate of mine, I always knew he was hard-headed.
So Lytle is ready, and Paul O'Neill will step in. Yankees lead at 4-0 with 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. Ground ball left side, and a nice play by Lopez from the knees, but not in time. Soho will round third and take that big turn, but he'll go back. So Lopez has made some pretty nice plays at short, at least stopping the ball.
Well, he saves the Mets a run here. Ball out of the range of Franco. Lopez comes up with it. As you can see, Soho going to third base. If this ball gets by Lopez, the Yankees would have another run. He tries for the desperation throw, but nowhere near in time to get Paul O'Neill. So the Yankees have batted around as Soho goes to third.
So the rookie right-hander will face Cecil Fielder. And Cecil, against Reynoso, struck out his first time up. Well, Yankees doing damage here in the second. And they're not through yet.
Imagine if Charlie Hayes hadn't run into the umpire. Or the umpire hadn't gotten in Charlie's way.
And another nice stop by Hundley. Well, Reynoso, it looked like he was only one pitch away from getting out of a huge inning and only giving up one run before Derek Jeter slammed a double into left field. And then Soho takes him out with that shot off the left kneecap. Well, that's one of those, don't try that at home, ladies and gentlemen, and kids.
Back, haven't they outlawed dipping in the minor leagues?
Yes, they have.
Not allowed to use tobacco.
Not allowed to use any tobacco in the minor leagues. Bobby Brown, the former American League president, very instrumental in getting that rule passed. 3 balls, no strikes for Fielder. 2 outs here in the second. Down low, ball 4. The bases are loaded for the Yankees again. Yankees have now batted around here in the second.
How about a young pitcher coming into a situation in a series like this? Probably the biggest crowd he's ever played in front of, and at Yankee Stadium to boot. So a tough situation for a young man to try and get his ball club out of a major jam here in the second inning.
Well, he played in 1996 the whole season in Binghamton, which is Double-A.
There might be more people here tonight than there are in Binghamton.
Martinez will come up for the second time in this inning. He walked, came around to score, leading off this inning. That's the 21st time the Yankees have batted around in 1997. And Lytle having problems finding the strike zone. Soho at third, O'Neill down at second, and Fielder on at first. Ball 2, 2-0.
Well, Tino's trying to break an 0 for 13. He drew a walk to lead this inning off and scored.
Lytle came to the Mets from the Milwaukee Brewers back in 1996. Down low, ball 3, 3-0.
Well, Don Denkinger, known as a hitter's umpire, has a small strike zone.
So 7 pitches and no strikes.
Yeah.
And in danger of walking a run in here in the second. Strike on the outside corner.
Good movement on that fastball away.
Boy, great time for a hitter.
Looks like this young man has a pretty good arm. Maybe not the control he would like at this point, but he does have some movement and some excellent breaking pitches.
Out of play.
Tino trying to unload the wagon with one swing of the bat.
Why not? And the bases want to be unloaded. You know, you've got a young rookie right-hander out there on the mound. Capacity crowd. This Subway Series means a lot for New York. And you got him right where you want him. Now it's 3-2. So the runners will take off on this pitch. And it's hit hard. Olerud smothers it. Steps on the bag, and the Yankees are finally gone after batting around here in the second. They do damage. They come up with 4. Reynoso knocked out of the game. Line drive off his kneecap. They go top of the third. Yankees in front.
I'm sure he'll take it. I mean, anytime your team scores 4 runs for you, but see if he comes out throwing strikes.
Well, in the first inning, he was yawning like he was about to go to sleep anyway. Maybe he got the nap that he wanted.
Oh, boy.
That's up high for a ball. Now it's 2-1. We've seen it so many times, you know, with a pitcher having a big lead and he comes out and then he has a problem throwing strikes.
Now that usually is not the problem with David Wells. He gets the ball over the plate just like that.
And is hit hard into center field for a base hit. So Baerga, he has come to life with his bat now for the New York Mets with the second hit in this game.
Baerga had gotten off to a very, very slow start, and there were a lot of whispers that maybe he was done. But he's hit safely in 29 of his last 40 games now. So he has picked it up with the bat. And he's at first with nobody out for the Mets here in the third inning.
Yeah, he's moved his batting average from the low 100s up to close to 300 now. And Matt Franco steps in. Alfonso, the regular third baseman, is still a little bit hurt. And he's been bothered, so Franco is taking over at third. He's got a bad hamstring. And the first pitch to Franco up high for a ball.
You know, players like Alfonso and Bernie Williams are really missing a chance to play in this series. They really want to be out there and trying to help their respective ball clubs.
Well, the Yankees have Franco right where they want him, too, because he leads the major leagues with a .478 batting average as a pinch hitter. Shot back up the middle. That one almost got David Wells. So 2 men up and 2 base hits for the Mets here in the third. Here they come.
Well, Boomer showing a little quickness around the mound. Watch him evade the shot back through the middle. He's a lot more fortunate than Reynoso.
That looked like the same exact play that hit Reynoso on the knee, and he just somehow gets out of the way of that. So with 2 men on, nobody out, Lopez will step in for the first time, and now the Mets have batted around on David Wells. And it's up high for a ball. Throw back down to second, in, not in time. They almost picked Baerga off at second.
And one of the toughest plays to judge is when you're a runner at second and the hitter squares the bunt through the ball. Baerga just gets back ahead of the tag. That right hand to the outfield side of second base. You can see the throw on the infield side, and he goes in the back door. Maybe if Jeter was set up behind the bag, it would have been a closer play.
Yeah. Just beats it by a hand. And Lopez bunts one again, and not high enough for Girardi.
You know, one thing Wells is doing with Lopez trying to bunt here, he's kept that fastball up in the zone, and that's a tough pitch to bunt. First one almost took Louis' head off, and the second one he fouled back. It is tough to get on top of that high fastball, and David Wells is the type of pitcher who can locate with his heater and keep it up there.
So Bobby Valentine wanting to move those runners up to at least try to get a run or 2 back here in the third. And Jeter trying to keep Baerga close at second. This could be 2. Hayes will step on the bag, go across the diamond. They throw out Lopez, and it's a double play.
Well, they take the bunt off, and the Mets pay. Charlie Hayes awaits the ball, tag of third, and Lopez is hit into a double play. So the Mets, instead of trying to move some runners into scoring position, try and get the Yankees out of position in the infield, but it doesn't work. Lopez has only had 1 hit right-handed all year, and that was last night. And that's a perfect double play ball for Charlie Hayes. David Wells said, hey, I like that.
Job well done by Hayes at third, and there's 2 gone.
Pitcher's best friend.
Absolutely. Lance Johnson steps in for the second time. Well, I know that's play there. They're hoping that after Lopez attempted to bunt 2 times to get the infield out of position, or at least charging in, and he could slap it by them, but the Yankees didn't go for it. Franco will move down to second. Johnson with a base hit to lead it off in the top of the first for the Mets. And the Mets now have 3 hits. Yankees lead it 4-0. 2 outs here in the third. Finds a strike zone on the outside corner. Well, Johnson, is that a little pitter patter? That's not rain, is it?
Oh man.
Oh my goodness. Well, just a little shower to cool it off here at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, I didn't think there was rain in the forecast today. I knew it was overcast and a little cloudy, but
I'm a little rain shocked since coming from Miami and all the rain we had down there.
I think some people got a different forecast than I did. They came prepared.
And that's down low, ball 2 and 2 now to Johnson.
They talk about that rain in Florida. Yeah,
oh boy.
I had a chance to watch you guys. I'm kind of sympathetic. I was happy it wasn't me trying to get a ball game in between the raindrops in Florida.
It was hard trying to get a game in between those raindrops. 2 and 2, 2 outs here in the third. Johnson had been out for 15 days with shin splints, and Mets are glad he is back. And this could be a tough play. Hurry up, David. And he doesn't get there. In fact, he drops the ball and then allow Franco to come on to score. He was trying to tag Johnson instead of stepping on the bag. And Johnson knocked the ball away, it looked like.
Well, this is going to be a tough play right from the start. Boomer running for all he's worth to try and beat Johnson to the bag, and I think he might have if he stepped on the bag.
It looked like he had him beat.
If he goes to tag him and the leg comes in contact with his wrist, it knocks the ball out of the glove. Here's another look at it. Yep, if he had gotten his act together, he could have beaten him to the bag. Instead, the Mets have scored a run with 2 down.
Nothing wrong with the throw from Martinez.
This is going to go as a base hit for Johnson and an error charge to David Wells, which allows Franco to score from third base.
So now it's a 4-1 Yankee lead. They don't teach you in spring training fundamentally to try to tag the runner. Just to go to the bag, get there as fast as you can, and touch it. Bernard Gilkey. Ball 1 to Gilkey.
Mets have 1 Franco in the dugout and 1 in the bullpen.
Gilkey hit into a double play in the first inning.
Now, we mentioned Lance Johnson just off the disabled list last night and bothered by shin splints. His stolen base record kind of indicates how badly that injury's been bothering him. 6 steals, 6 times he's been caught.
High and deep into left field, and this is going to be a home run for Gilkey. And the Mets have been waiting for that for a long time for Bernard Gilkey. It's 4-3. The Yankees lead it.
Now, talking to hitting coach Tom Robson as Gilkey comes back to the dugout, he was saying that he feels that Gilkey is about ready to break loose. Look at that reception.
And Gilkey, who reached career highs in just about every stat last year and was rewarded with a big contract, but has gotten off slow here in 1997. He had a couple of hits last night. And this is John Olerud. So the Mets fighting back here in the third.
Wow. Are they pumped or what?
And Olerud sends one deep into center field. Curtis tracks it down right in front of the warning track. That's all right with the New York Mets because they are closer to the New York Yankees now. We go to the bottom of the third. It's 4-3 Yankees. B11. And there's nothing funny about what's going on here at Yankee Stadium as the Yankees come to bat here in the bottom of the third, and the New York Mets with new life as Charlie Hayes leads it off. A little tapper, and Lytle will pick it up and throw him out. 1 pitch, 1 gone.
Well, new situation for Corey Lytle. Last time he was out there, his ball club down by 4. David Wells gives up the 3 runs, and the Mets are back in the ball game. So Corey Lytle with more on his shoulders as he faces the Yankees in the bottom of the 3rd.
You know, and it's been the mistakes, the defensive mistakes that have hurt the Yankees in the last week or so. And with that miscue at first base on the Martinez flip to David Wells covering and allowing Franco to score and the inning to continue, seems like the teams are really taking advantage of those 4th outs. So this is Mark Whitten. 0-1 count to Whitten. He walked, came around to score in the 2nd. So how the momentum swings. 1 minute it's on the Yankees side, the next minute it's on the Mets side.
And quickly it shifted too.
Down low, ball 3-1 now to Whitten with 1 gone.
To show you how there is a dearth of pitching in the major leagues, Corey Lytle was originally signed by the Minnesota Twins.
He hit hard, but Baerga is there. 2 away.
Lytle was released by Minnesota as Baerga puts that play away.
And the Yankee Clipper Joe DiMaggio enjoying this interleague play between the Mets and the Yankees. And we saw Joe D down in Florida as he threw out the first pitch to open up that interleague play for the Yankees. As Chad Curtis steps in.
Yeah, to continue that thought on Lytle. Signed by the Twins, released by the Twins. Played in an independent league in Pocatello. Then Lytle's contract was purchased by the Brewers and then was acquired by the Mets in a trade.
1-1 count on Curtis, who struck out in the 2nd. An update on Armando Reynoso. They say that preliminary check on him from Dr. Hershon, the Yankee doctor, a contusion of the left knee, and they will check that further tomorrow. So Joe McIlvaine and the New York Mets, with their pitching staff, they have enough trouble. That would be another big blow for them. Foul back and out of play.
Going back to the 2nd inning, a look at the line drive off the bat of Luis Sojo that literally knocked Reynoso out of this ball game. And they took the x-rays and it seems it's just a contusion, which is bad enough.
Swing and a miss, and Curtis strikes out. That's his 2nd strikeout of the game. And it looks like Wade Boggs will come on to play 3rd base. Lead as the Mets come to bat. It was a big inning for the Mets in the 3rd. But Charlie Hayes is out of the game now. And of course you see Gene Monahan, the head trainer. We'll see if something happened here. Stepping on the bag and releasing the throw back to first base. I don't see a whole lot there.
Me neither. Watch it. Charlie's able to avoid the slide. Watch him jump over the run. Well, we're not going to see that, but there's the throw of the first. And Charlie's out of the ball game. And Todd Hundley steps in, lead it off for the Mets here in the 4th inning. The pitch is up high, ball 1. Hundley was ahead on the count in the 2nd inning and flew out to left field. 0 for 1 on the evening for the switch hitting catcher, who pops one foul behind home plate.
I don't know, Kenny. He may have twisted his knee right there. See that? That may have been something there, or maybe he got spiked. I don't know. Could have been one of those two. I'm sure we'll get a report here pretty soon, and when we do, we'll pass it along to you.
This ball is popped up in the infield. Wade Boggs, the new 3rd baseman, makes the call and puts it away on number 1. You know, maybe it was the play at home plate when he had to slide into home plate. Anyway, there's 1 down. Boggs takes over at 3rd base. And the designated hitter, Butch Husky, will come to the plate. I talked to Butch before the game. Up until last night, he had never DH'd in a ball game. And of course, he said he's had some problems with a hamstring, and under National League circumstances, he would not be in the lineup. Ball one. He told me that between innings, he would go into the visiting clubhouse here, which of course is the Mets clubhouse in this series, and stretch that hamstring. We look at the Toyota box score in the top of the fourth. Johnson 2 for 2. Swing and foul tipped into the glove of Joe Girardi. A ball and a strike on Husky.
Yeah, Husky's original position is third base. But in 1996, he hit a lot of home runs in spring training for the Mets, and that's certainly opened their eyes. But Franco plays third base for them now.
Big swing and a foul back, and the count is 1-2. He's down from your territory. He's from Oklahoma, isn't he?
Yeah, he's from Lawton, Oklahoma. There's a military base down in Lawton.
Edgardo Alfonzo, and he too has hamstring problems. Mets having a lot of injuries to their infielders. Curve ball rolled slowly down the third base line, and Boggs is going to catch it in foul territory. And Husky, with that tender hamstring and all, will hit back to the dugout. I mean, to the home plate area. Alfonso with the hamstring. Manny Alexander with the knee injury. Ray Ordonez, a broken pinky. He's out for a while. Sean Gilbert, an infected knee. Andy Tomlin, herniated disc. And Lance Johnson, chin splits, but he's playing. And Joe McIlvaine.
I would say Joe McIlvaine should not be sitting in that chair, but he should be on the phone someplace.
It's been like a MASH unit over at Queens. Pitches fouled off.
That's just the infield and outfield. What about the pitching staff?
There's Ordonez, his left hand. He actually broke his hand making a play at shortstop, stayed in the game. They x-rayed it after the ball game, found the break, and immediately he was put on the disabled list. Husky tried to check his swing and appeal at first, and John Shulock says no swing. So Husky will survive with the count of 2-2.
Well, the report on Charlie Hayes is he has a pulled groin, and he did it running the bases. So all of our speculation at third didn't have anything to do with it. It would have been after the fact because he did it running the bases.
Husky stays alive, fouls the pitch off. Now, one thing tonight that I've been watching from David Wells, now, even though he started and got thrown out of the ball game on Saturday after in the second inning, he threw a lot of pitches in that first inning, 46 pitches. And tonight he hadn't been able to strike anybody out, so that tells you that maybe there's not that little extra on the fastball to put people away. The Mets seem to be fouling pitches off. Not that time. Husky chases a pitch out of the strike zone. It is the first strikeout victim for David Wells.
Well, he just comes up with heat, and you've got to have something on the high fastball as he just worked him up the ladder. But you talked about, that's a good point, 46 pitches. You know, that was the same amount of pitches that he threw in the first inning against the Marlins when he started against them, and they scored a bunch of runs in the first inning, highlighted by that Sheffield grand slam. Of course, all of that was washed out with the rain out.
Curveball for a strike to Carl Everett. Makes a bunt, takes a pitch in another appeal, and he said he went. That's strike two. So Wells has now thrown 53 pitches, 34 for strikes. We're in the fourth inning. In that start in Miami against the Marlins, he threw 46 in the first inning.
Yeah. And the breaking ball. And I think Everett thought that he pulled the bat back in time, but not so, says Don Denkinger.
And it looks like the plan to pitch to Everett is breaking ball, breaking ball, breaking ball.
Well, he's a very impatient hitter, and that's the one thing that the Mets are working with him on, is that he will chase a bad pitch.
He thought about it there, but held up. Count goes to 2-2.
Well, you know, when a guy is anxious at the plate, the one thing you don't want to throw him is a strike, because he will get himself in the hole, and he will just give him a chance to get himself out.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, nobody on for the Mets. In the 4th inning, and the Yankees lead it 4-3. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Well, David Wells, proudly sponsored by the 62,000 professionals at Delta Airlines. Joe Girardi leading it off, and he takes the ball from Corey Lytle. Good breaking ball. And that will even things up at 1-1. Girardi had a single. Scored the first run for the Yankees. Or make that the 3rd run for the Yankees in the 2nd inning.
And Joe, with that base hit in the 2nd inning, he is now 4 for 6 in this series.
Lytle having troubles keeping that breaking ball in the zone. The count goes to 2 balls and a strike as Girardi leads it off in the 4th. He'll be followed by Jeter and Soho. And this is the part of the lineup for the Yankees tonight. Have been getting some things done. Girardi 1 for 1. And lashes a tough souvenir for a fan down over the Yankee dugout. And we talked about this is the part of the lineup starting with Girardi's 1 for 1. Then you got Jeter 2 for 2 and Soho with a 1 for 2. And might as well throw in a Neal with a 1 for 2.
And the thing about the Yankees tonight is compared to last night, key hits in crucial situations, getting hits with men on base, such as that Derek Jeter 2-out double into left field.
Something Joe Torre and Don Zimmer would like to see more of as the Mets have closed it to within 4-3. Count remains full as Girardi fouls off another pitch.
Well, all the hype about this series, and both teams talking about the players saying, well, you know, it's just another game, and even though it counts, sure, we like it, but we can't get too emotional about it. Baloney.
Ground ball to second, slowly hit for Baerger. He throws out Girardi. There's 1 out. You're right, Bobby. It will mean something. You know, even if the Yankees get the postseason or the Mets get the postseason, they'll look back on this and they'll say, well, you know, we beat the Mets or the Mets beat the Yankees, and the fans in the city can always point to that in June. There's something special in the season. Absolutely.
Well, this is a big rivalry between the Yankees and the Mets, and it's not only for the players' sake and the franchise's sake, but for the fans, the people of the New York area.
And I guess these rivalries throughout baseball as Jeter takes a pitch down low for ball 1. I think even if they modify interleague play, they have to have a series between the Yankees and the Mets, Montreal and Toronto, Kansas City and St. Louis.
And of course Mookie Wilson, who knows all about that rivalry, first base coach for the Mets.
Fouled off by Jeter. And a series starting tonight out on the West Coast, the Dodgers and the Angels.
That's called the Freeway Series.
Yeah.
This is called the Subway Series. That's the Freeway Series out there. Well, that's what interleague play is all about, and that's what it's supposed to do, is to stimulate that area, stimulate the fans, and get the house packed with people.
1-1 on Jeter. Breaking ball, fouled off. Ball and 2 strikes. You know, we have seen, and we've known all along, that New York is a good baseball town. But by having this interleague play between the Mets and the Yankees, that just reinforces the fact that New York is one of the best baseball cities in America.
I don't discount that.
The ball and 2 strikes. Jeter swings, grounds it toward third, and Willie Randolph, as he did to me many times, snags it.
And talk about rivalries. Willie knows all about this little rivalry between the Yankees and the Mets. Of course, Willie lives in the area and had so many great years here in New York. Some world championship teams here in the 70s. And I played in 8 Mayor's Trophies games here. And
Jeter with a bounce to the short. Lopez throws him out. That is out number 2.
And even those Mayor's Trophy games were exciting at times, too.
Look at our Nobody Beats the Wiz interleague play scoreboard. The Red Sox are leading Philadelphia 6-4. Nomar Garciaparra has gone deep for Boston. Cleveland all over Cincinnati. And that is 5-1 in the 7th inning at the Jake. Florida and Detroit at Tiger Stadium tied up at 1-1 in the 7th inning. And the Blue Jays trailing the Atlanta Braves 4-3 in the 7th. And how about down at Camden Yards?
How about those Montreal Expos? They've won 10 in a row. They're going for 11 in a row tonight. That would be a franchise record.
And they're tied at 3 with the Orioles. They could do the Yankees a favor tonight.
What in the world does Felipe do? I mean, he must be some kind of manager. Seems like every year Montreal loses about 2 or 3 stars off their ball club, but every year they're always battling.
Pitch is hit hard by Soho in the center field for a base hit, his second hit. Now, one thing I've heard Felipe say in the past, people say to him, how can you do it year after year with a new team? He says, I managed in the minor leagues for 17 years. You get a new team every year. Here's Paul O'Neill. O'Neill has flied to center and singled. Had an infield single. So he's 1 for 2. The Yankees have now put 7 hits on the board against Mets pitching. But they lead by the slimmest of margins, 4-3 here in the 4th. Knee-high strike to O'Neill. Starts him off from Corey Lytle.
Well, you can always tell when Paul is locked into that zone because there's no herky-jerky movement in his stride. He brings that knee up and that leg up very slowly, sets it down, and everything is in perfect motion. See there's no lunging. Hands are not coming forward. The body's not moving. When you're a pitcher and you see that, you've got to be a little bit concerned. But pitchers will notice that guys jump out in front and they're moving and pulling off the ball, etc.
Certainly the good pitchers do.
And they will pitch to that weakness.
Ball and a strike at O'Neill as you look at his footwork. Ooh, off-speed pitch and a swing and a miss. That might have been the splitter. Ball and 2 strikes. This time he's out in front a bit.
Yeah, that was just something that fell off the table away on him. And that's what the split finger normally does when you throw a good one.
See the scoreboard in the background, 4-3, the Yankees lead.
How about a delayed steal by Soho?
O'Neill swings, ground ball on the right side by Erga. Playing towards the hole, throws out O'Neill. And that'll do it for the Yankees here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. They pick up a hit by no runs against the Mets. They played 4. The Yankees lead it 4-3. To the 5th inning. Carlos Baerga is going to lead it off. Well, the fans are alternating cheers here. Let's go Yankees, then let's go Mets. Baerga checks his swing. It's up high for ball 1. He is singled. So 1 for 1 tonight for the Mets second baseman. Let's go Yankees and then let's go Mets. Slightly open stance for the 3-time All-Star in the American League. Pops it foul. Tino Martinez coming over for a look, but that's all he's going to get.
Well, Baerga, of course, had some great years in Cleveland. Batting .300 about 4 or 5 times for the Indians. A switch hitter, and when the Mets picked him up, they were expecting that type of production here. They didn't get it early on, and Bobby Valentine and Baerga, they were not totally in love with each other. But now that he's hitting, all is forgiven. Baerga, basically a free swinger from both sides, and I know Baerga benefited from that huge offensive lineup that Cleveland highlighted by Albert Bell when he was there. Here with the Mets, a little bit different story. You know, he doesn't have quite the same protection.
You don't get many second basemen going to drive in 100 runs for you. He did it a few times. Good curveball, called strike 3, and he knew it. David Wells is picking it up in the strikeout. Picking up the strikeout situation. There's a lot of people here who've worn both uniforms, and let's start with the Yankees pitching coach, Mel Stottlemyre. 20-game winner for the Yankees back in the 60s. Also tutoring 20-game winners with the Mets was Ron Darling. So 11 seasons as a Yankee pitcher, 164. How about that ERA? 2.97. Pitch is inside to Matt Franco, ball one, and certainly doing a great job of the Yankee pitching staff now as he's moved to the Bronx once again.
I played 10 years with Stottlemyre, and talk about somebody that had a sinker and a slider, and he knew how to pitch. One great thing about Stottlemyre, not only was he a good player, but he's a good guy.
Yeah.
And he gets along, and he's very compassionate with his own pitching staff. He takes it to heart, each and everything that goes wrong or goes good with his pitching staff. He's always there to help.
2-0 pitch is hit, short hop, nice play by Jeter. And he continues and makes the play by throwing Franco out.
From a hitter's standpoint, when you go to the plate, all you want to do is to try to hit the ball hard. You can't control a lot of times where the ball goes. Franco hit it hard, but Jeter turns it into an out. In layman's terms, that's called an atom ball.
Bobby, we were speaking of Mel Stottlemyre. Is there any current pitcher that kind of reminds you of the way Mel used to pitch? As Lopez, we might have to come back to that. As Lopez lifts a fly ball to straightaway center to Chad Curtis. Puts away, and the Mets go quickly here in the 5th inning with Cecil Fielder would like to make it fly here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Yankees leading 4-3. Corey Lytle's done a pretty good job. Pitch is fouled back. He's thrown 41 pitches. 23 have been strikes, 18 balls. Maybe that's not such a good ratio. As he picks up for Armando Reynoso, who was knocked out of the ball game, hit by a line drive off the bat of Luis Sojo. And once again, getting a little rain here at Yankee Stadium. Pitch to Cecil is low. 1-1. This kind of traveled up the coast, Bobby.
Oh yeah, but it's not bad
compared to that rain in Florida.
Nah, this is just a light sprinkle.
Cecil takes a pitch outside. The count goes to 2-1.
I don't care what it does with this rain or whatever. You can't dampen the spirits of this fan base. And Nelson Doubleday will just he doesn't even have a jacket or a hat or an umbrella.
Well, the Mets are trailing, 4-3. Cecil fouls it off. That gets a piece of home plate umpire Don Dankinger. The count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. There's an innovative way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Take your salad plate and put it over your head.
Eat the salad first, though.
Yeah. Good idea.
Two balls and 2 strikes on Cecil Fielder. And he chases a bad pitch and strikes out. Second time Cecil has struck out tonight. Lytle picks up strikeout number 2 for him.
Well, Cecil really lunging at the ball and trying to cheat as much as he can. And you see Cecil now chasing a lot of bad balls out of the strike zone. See how out in front he is? He's reacting to the pitcher and not the ball.
Tino Martinez has walked and scored and grounded out.
Well, in the 2nd inning, let's take a look at Tino. And he gets a walk out of Reynoso. Then in the 3rd, a hard smash, but Olerud is there. The old atom ball got Tino. One thing about in the 5th inning when you're ahead and you're the home team, if the weather does turn on you, it's an official ball game.
Yes, it is. Ball and a strike on Tino. He fouled the pitch off. It's another one hard. This to Baerga at second base. And he's thrown out once again. So Tino 0 for 2 is now 0 for his last 15. But to me, it's how a guy makes his outs. And it's usually an indication he's about ready to break an 0 for when he's hit the ball hard. So
I agree with you,
yeah.
and you would make a wonderful general manager if I was talking to you. Say, look, I made 100 hard ground outs during the season.
Yeah, you see, but when it comes down to the dough, I'm not giving it up.
Oh, you dirty dog. I can't believe that.
You got to give it up for the production. The home runs, the RBIs. Here's Wade Boggs, his first at bat of the night. He took over for Charlie Hayes, who left with a groin injury. And Yankees have already lost Bernie Williams on the disabled list. That was announced before the game as Boggs fouls a pitch off. But Bernie's out with that hamstring injury. He'll be out for, that's retroactive to yesterday, so at least 14 more days before Bernie can come back. 2 weeks.
Well, they weren't sure how serious that injury was until today. They really weren't able to examine him yesterday, and they wanted to wait 1 more day. So undoubtedly, you know, when you deal with a hamstring, it's one of those muscles that doesn't heal quickly, and you really got to be careful, because if you injure it more, you know, you're talking about months. They just don't heal up,
and they have a tendency to keep coming back.
Yeah.
2 balls and 2 strikes on Wade Boggs. 2 outs, nobody on, 5th inning. Yeah, it doesn't seem that the rain is very hard. It's kind of steady, but it's kind of misting rain.
Oh, it's just a cooling off period. That's all it is.
Call, strike 3. Wade Boggs is out. Lino strikes out a pair of Yankees here in the 5th inning. The Yankees go quietly. We've played 5 here at Yankee Stadium. 4-3. The Yankees are on top. And speaking of the top of the order for David Wells, Johnson, Gilkey, and Olerud for the Mets. Lance Johnson with a couple of hits and a run scored. High ball 1. We were talking about, Bobby, Mel Stottlemyre and a pitcher that you thought he might be like in today's terms.
Well, the guy that comes to mind is Kevin Brown, who pitches for the Florida Marlins. He's got that sinker slider.
Pitch is foul down the left field line. A ball and a strike on Johnson.
Both of them fairly tall. Kevin may be a little bit bigger than Mel, but I'll tell you what, Stottlemyre has some kind of sinker. And if you were going to get to him, you had to get to him early when he was strong and overthrowing that sinker. After that, forget about it. It's all over with.
Ground ball towards the left side. Going to be a tough play for Jeter. Throws on the run and gets it. Derek Jeter with his 2nd inning in a row with a good play.
Tell you what, this is a big league play. You know that Jeter doesn't have time, and Jeter knows he doesn't have time to be messing around. It's a bang-bang, one-piece play for Derek. And he has made a big league play by throwing on Johnson. That's good speed. Nothing wrong with Johnson's shin splints on that one.
Well, Jeter turns in a highlight reel type play, and that'll bring up Bernard Gilkey. He's hit into a double play and then hit a 2-run homer in the 3rd. And get a changeup, swings and misses, strike 1.
You know, Gilkey's one of those hitters that feels comfortable in a certain spot. And Bobby Valentine has hit him 1st, he's hit him 3rd, he's hit him 2nd. And Gilkey now, I think, has found a place hitting up into the strike zone, or up in the lineup.
Good curve for a call strike, 0-2. 6th inning. Wow, the crowd is fired up. 0-2 on Gilkey. He won't chase a ball and 2 strikes. These people are well beyond the wave. They were on their own wavelength. Wells has thrown 70 pitches. Yankee fans pointing towards Mets fans. Gilkey swings and lifts a fly ball to right field. O'Neill coming on and makes the sliding catch. Once again, the Yankees defensively making a good play. Gilkey robbed of a hit, maybe an extra base hit.
And one of the toughest plays for the outfield is a full swing, and you got to break perfectly off the ball off the bat. And O'Neill, watch him. He knows he's going to have to slide, and he starts his slide right there, keeps his eye on the ball. And that's the reason O'Neill is a first-class outfielder.
Boy, 3 of the last 4 hitters that have been retired have been on great defensive plays. You hate to use the word great, you might overuse it. Let's say extraordinary defensive plays by the Yankees. Here's Olerud. Call strike.
Olerud hit 18 home runs for the Blue Jays last year, and they weren't satisfied. They thought that Olerud not only could hit 350 something, but also hit them 40 home runs. And they got dissatisfied.
You know, if you start going for the home runs, that 350 average is going to sink. There's Houston 4-0 over Kansas City.
He's the kind of hitter that hits the ball all over.
Call strike. A ball and 2 strikes.
And not many times do you get a hitter like Olerud batting from the left side, and left-handed pitchers don't give him that much trouble.
Yankee fans on their feet. They want the strikeout. Wells has given them 3 thus far. Pitches swung on and missed, strike 3. David Wells turns it up a notch. A 1-2-3 inning for the Mets here in the 6th. As we go to the bottom half of the 6th inning, it is 4-3 Yankees. And he's got a smile on his face with his ball club ahead 4-3. Doc, of course, played for the Mets, broke in with the Mets before coming to the Yankees. Back in 1984, Doc was 17-9 in his rookie year. How about all those strikeouts? Of course, with the Yankees, he has come on and thrown a no-hitter with the Yankees. Second season with the Bronx Bombers, 12-7 last year with a 5.06. 11 seasons with the Mets, 157 and 85.
Well, the good doctor, he won the Cy Young Award back in 1985, and then pitched that was with the Mets, and then pitched his first no-hitter with the Yankees in 1996.
Here's Mark Whitten, and a swing and a miss to lead it off for the Yankees here at the bottom of the 6th inning. Mel Stoudemire coming over to David Wells, who has retired 10 in a row, as he'll head to the 7th inning. It seems like he's picked it up as the game has gone along, Bobby.
Well, David, after getting thrown out of the game in Florida on Saturday, got a little reprimand not only from Joe Torre but also from some of the teammates. They were a little bit dissatisfied with him not thinking about the team. He was only thinking about himself and getting thrown out of that game. Luckily, the game was rained out. Otherwise, the Yankees would have really been strapped in the bullpen. So I think he's got something to prove tonight and try to win back their respect.
Whitten had a good swing at that last breaking ball from Corey Lytle, but fouled it off. Lytle's done a pretty good job himself out of the pen. He's held the Yankees off the board. Ball, strike 3. Good looking fastball there and well located.
Well, this has got to be encouraging for Apodaca and also Valentine with the showing of the young arm from Lytle. Now he has struck out 3 of the last 4 hitters. You knew when he came into the game when Reynoso got hurt that he had to be a little bit overcharged and he couldn't find the strike zone. Now he is settled down.
Chad Curtis struck out swinging in the 2nd, struck out swinging in the 3rd. Curtis had a big year for the Tigers a couple of years ago. Hit over 20 homers, stole over 20 bases. But he hasn't really been able to capitalize on those sort of numbers since then.
Curtis is the only Yank not to get on base tonight.
And he takes care of that on this pitch.
All right, I take that back.
Okay.
That's all you need is to bring it up.
And the Yankees with their 8th hit tonight as Curtis finds his way to first base.
They love to pitch him up in the strike zone. This time Curtis is able to get up on the high fastball and take it up the middle for a base hit. The 2 previous times when he struck out, they just started about waist high and they just went right on up the ladder on him.
Girardi had a base hit, scored in the 2nd inning, then grounded out to 2nd in the 4th. That is Jeff Nelson. Joe Torre's got his bullpen humming down there beyond the fence and left center.
We're moving into that danger zone in baseball, especially in the American League, that 7th inning.
Nice stop by Hundley in ball 1.
Well, certainly a different style of playing between both the American and National League, but looks like David Wells has been pitching well the last 2 or 3 innings. So he struggled early on, and you know how sometimes they can really settle into their own pattern, and that may be where Wells is right now.
1 on, 1 out for the Yankees here in the 6th. Pitch is slashed off the front of the stands and then on down the right field line, where Everett will take care of it and try and go for some all-star votes.
I've never seen Jose move like that at first base. He did the Cardinal shuffle.
He could move in his day, though.
Oh, he could. Yes. It didn't look like he did one of those Mickey Rivers type moves. You know, he walked around like he couldn't hardly move. Look at that.
Girardi with a little number. Back to the pitcher. The second for 1 and no ball. You think this isn't serious, folks? Chad Curtis just about undressed Louis Lopez at second base.
And Curtis with the hard slide keeps the Yankees out of the double play. Now you'll see Lopez, he's got the ball, he tries to take it out of the glove, and with the hard slide upending Lopez, the out is made at second. But the hard slide, and that's what they want you to do, break up the double play. That's what you call breaking up a double play. A lot of guys will not only go in there and have the collision, but they'll slide off to the side and grab that guy by the leg with his hands and pull him down.
You never did that, did you?
Why do I want to hit the guy when I can reach up and pull him by the ankle? Less chance for injury.
Here's Derek Jeter. He's had a good night. 2 for 3. Has driven in a couple of runs with a booming double to left center in the second inning. Swings at a low and in fastball and misses. Strike 1. Former Philly Ricardo Jordan up for the Mets in their pen. Both bullpens are working here as we get to the latter stages of the game. 4-3, the Yankees lead. 4 runs in the second for the Yankees, 3 in the third for the Mets. Jeter with a smash towards the middle into center field. That's a base hit. Girardi will stop at second. Jeter with his 3rd hit of the night.
Well, we were hoping that in this series we would see Ordonez and Jeter, because a lot of talk about these 2 shortstops. Who's the best shortstop? You talk to the Mets, they say, well, they think theirs is the best defensive shortstop in baseball. And of course, Derek winning the 1996 Rookie of the Year. Yankee fans know what he can do. I would have liked to have seen those 2 guys battle it out in this Subway Series. Unfortunately, Ordonez is on the disabled list. It'll happen somewhere down the road.
Yes, it will. There's 2 very young shortstops as Luis Sojo will step in with 2 on and 2 outs. The one thing Ordonez has done this year, they say he has cut down on those errors where he tries to make the spectacular play. Now, he does still make those spectacular plays, but he's not going to throw the ball away like he did last year. Made 27 errors last year. He's only made 3 this year. So that's somebody who's coachable and is learning at the big league level. Here's Sojo. He has 2 hits tonight. Ground ball towards the middle. Lopez has it. Flips to Baerga for the 4th. And the Yankees rally is snuffed out here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Welcome back to Yankee baseball. Yankees lead at 4-3. Coming up here at the top of the 7th inning. Hello, everybody. I'm Bobby Mercer along with Ken Singleton, and thank you for joining us here on the WB11. Boy, this has been some kind of baseball game tonight. It's some kind of series. It's history in making. Finally, the Yankees and the Mets in a Subway Series for something that counts.
Well, bigger crowd tonight. It was just announced the paid attendance here at Yankee Stadium. 56,253. So that means in the 2 nights there have been 112,441 here at the big ballpark in the Bronx.
And David Wells pitches to Todd Hundley, leading off here in the 7th. Hundley 0 for 2. He's flied out both times. Wells has put 10 Mets in a row. He hasn't given up a base hit since the Gilkey home run back in the 3rd inning. And that's Husky on deck. 2-1 the count on Hundley. Taking a look at our Toyota box score for the Mets. And you see Gilkey is 1 for 3, but it was a big one, that 2-run shot. Hundley still looking for his first base hit. Bottom of the order doing nicely for the Mets. Now it's 2-2.
Here's a look at the last pitch, a changeup, and Hundley takes it. That's not the pitch you want to swing at, 2-1, unless you're really guessing right.
Hundley with 15 home runs, 14 from the left side, only 1 from the right side.
And that's been the story primarily throughout his career, where he's hit many more home runs on the left-hand side of the plate. Now, tomorrow afternoon, he'll get a chance to hit left-handed, and the Yankees are going to send David Cone to the mound in the finale of this 3-game series.
Trying to analyze that, and Hundley being a natural right-hander, when you turn around from the left side, of course your right side is your strong side, so you would be a little bit stronger hitting from the left side. Chopper foul. Well, of course, Todd Hundley comes from a baseball background. His father, Randy Hundley, catcher for the Mets. I played with his dad. We had a chance to chat a little bit before today's ball game, and of course Randy living in Chicago, and he's learned a lot about catching because his dad was a tremendous defensive catcher. So he had the savvy and the knack before he even signed his contract.
They mentioned that Todd catches quite often, 150 games last year, more than any other catcher. I think his dad holds the record for number of games caught in the season, 160. That's a lot of catching.
Outside, ball 3. So Wells with 10 in a row that he down. Gets underneath it, high fly ball into center field. Now it's 11 for Wells. Well, we've been featuring Mets and Yankees in the park tonight. So we'll see if we can't figure out who this one is. That looks familiar from the backside. Is this guy a switch hitter? I don't know. Look at those sideburns. I think
Oh, look at that one.
Oh, look at that one. Look at that trot. Of course, that's no other than our broadcast buddy here, Ken Singleton, when he was with the Mets.
You know what I'm most proud of? All of my highlights are in color. They don't have to go to black and white, you know? Yeah.
Oh, nice going, guys. And nice home run. I'm glad they finished it off with the big home run.
Yeah, they had to dig way back to find that.
And this is Husky with a 1-1 count to Husky. Well, if you wondered about what Singleton did with the Mets, 2 seasons, 252, 18 home runs, 72 ribbies. Hey, career-wise, not too shabby.
Yeah, you learn things the longer you can stay around the big leagues.
How long did you wear those sideburns?
Not long, because they were out of, they're coming back, though, I think. Just hope I can grow them back.
And the crowd getting into this one again here in the 7th inning. 1-2 count on Husky. The Yankees lead at 4-3, so this is a nail-biter.
You don't want to get rid of those sideburns or your bell-bottom pants. You never know when they'll come back.
Or the polyester. And Husky this one high to right field. And Soho out behind there in front of O'Neill. Puts it away. 2 gone. That's 12 in a row now for David Wells. Leverett will step in. Well, Bobby Valentine and Apodaca has done some kind of job with the pitching staff, and the Mets with a 37-30 record coming into this game. Strike one to Everett. Only 5.5 games back in their Eastern Division. You would almost think they'd just fold up like an accordion after Harnish went down. Pulsifier goes down. Wilson goes down. Isringhausen goes down. And now maybe Reynoso, who had to leave the ball game back in the early part of this game with a line shot off the left kneecap. Good breaking ball from Wells. 1-2.
Well, we're talking about the pitching. The Yankees pitching second in the American League in earned run average. And David Wells has done his part with a good hook. On the other side of the coin, the Mets are third in the National League in ERA. So both New York clubs well represented by their pitching staff.
Wells has struck out 4 Mets. As we take a look at our Toyota box score for the Mets.
He's really shut down the middle of the order, hasn't he?
Yeah, Everett's 0 for 2, Husky 0 for 3, Hundley 0 for 3. And look at Olerud. That big guy in that third slot, he's 0 for 3. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 5 strikeouts for Wells. Bottom of the 7th inning as the Yankees come to bat. Paul O'Neill. And the middle of this Yankee order, following O'Neill, will be Fielder and then Martinez. 4-3. 1-run lead for the Yankees. Hit hard and off the glove of Olerud into right field. That'll be a base hit for O'Neill. And the Yankees now with 9 hits in this game. O'Neill 2 for 3. And Cecil trying to get on track here, coming up to bat for the 4th time. He has struck out twice and walked once.
It has looked as though the Mets and the Marlins before the Mets trying to get Cecil out with a hard breaking ball. Now we saw Cecil against the White Sox catch up with one of those and hit a home run off of Doug Drabek, but you know, you got to figure he's got to be looking for it somewhere along the line here.
And the breaking ball high and inside, ball 2, 2-0.
Now you can move off the breaking ball and look for a fastball. You can afford to look for the fastball at 1 pitch. Even if he comes back with another breaking ball, you can take it for a strike.
Well, if you feel real comfortable against the pitcher, you can look for 2 strikes if you don't get your pitch.
That looked like a fastball sign right there.
And it was in on the hands, fouled out of play. That pitch about 85 miles an hour. Cecil hasn't gotten his timing yet. You know, he's got that big hitch, and he's letting the ball get on top of him before he tries to get the bat head out. Got in on him again.
That looked like a ball, and the count is 2-2. Cecil shaking his head. Now, I think he knows he swung at a bad pitch. Instead of 2-2, it should be 3-1.
Now let's take a look at the Yankee box score, our Toyota box score.
These 3 hitters at the top of the lineup. 3 for 4, 2 for 4, 2 for 4.
Yankees would like to put some more runners across home plate. It's only a 4-3 lead. Hit hard underneath the wickets. Franco into left field. So a break for the Yankees here in the 7th inning. 2 men on, nobody out. Boy, when he started backpedaling, you knew he was in trouble.
It might be the lip of the grass because the ball seemed to stay up and then all of a sudden go down. Right there, it hit the lip between the grass and the dirt, and the ball stayed low. Instead of coming up high, it's going to be charged as an error. I think if you look at the replay a little closer, you can see there was a bad hop involved. See the high hop? Nope, it wasn't there on that second hop. But Franco's going to get an error.
And Apodaca out. And it looks like another pitching change. Of course, with Martinez coming up, the left-handed batter, they had Jordan warming up, a left-handed pitcher. And Lytle will leave. Reynoso started. He left the ball game back in the second inning. With a line drive off of his decap, the young man came on, and he was a little bit wild first few batters, then he settled down. So a new pitcher coming in for the Mets. We'll be back right after this. Now the Yankees lead at 4-3 here at the bottom of the seventh with something going. And Seinfeld fans, what a cute little doll have to do with George Costanza's love life. Well, tonight at 11, find out why George can't get in the mood for love. Plus, learn why Kramer's dropping his drawers. All this and more on the next episode of Seinfeld tonight at 11 on the WB11. Well, no love lost here tonight between the Mets and the Yankees, that's for sure. But the young man, Corey Lytle, did a pretty good job as Ricardo Jordan will come on. He's sort of a left-handed hitting specialist out of that bullpen. He flings it from the side with a fastball and somewhat of a slur. And that slur way outside. There's O'Neill at second, and Kelly on at first.
Well, you can see right away why Jordan might be tough on left-handed. He's throwing it almost from behind Tino Martinez on the angle of release.
Now you get to looking for the slurve, and he throws one in there that you want to hit, but you're not ready to hit it.
Greg McMichael, former Atlanta Brave. A lot of formers out of the bullpen for the Mets.
Get off the end of the bat, shallow left field, coming on in Gilkey, and it will be Lopez that makes a fantastic play. How in the world did he even get his glove out there to catch that ball? I don't know. What a play by the shortstop.
Well, we've seen some good defensive plays by both clubs, as this time it is the Mets' turn to star. And Lopez, watch him hold off Gilkey with one hand and make the catch with the other. Maybe anticipating a little contact, and then avoids the on-charging left fielder. So Luis Lopez, who was primarily a second baseman with the San Diego Padres, now forced into duty as a shortstop because of all of the injuries, primarily to Ray Ordonez and Manny Alexander, who are big-time shortstops for the Mets.
And both on the DL. And this will be Wade Boggs batting for the first time in the game. I checked that the second time. He struck out in the fifth inning. And it's strike one to Boggs. So good play by the shortstop.
Here's a look at his motion as we described. He kind of slings it up there and makes him, as Bobby called it, a lefty for a left-handed hitter. This is a guy you would love to face, Bobby, huh? This is the type of guy that made me a switch hitter.
Not Boggs. He sends it down into right field. They're going to wave around O'Neill, bobbled by Everett. So Kelly goes to third, and Boggs goes into second, and it's a 5-3 Yankee lead. That'll be scored as a single into right field, RBI for Boggs, and an error on Everett for bobbling it.
Well, second error of the inning for the Mets. We've seen one spectacular play, and we've seen a couple that haven't been so good. You know, one thing when you're a left-hand hitter facing a lefty, you got to figure he's coming in there to throw you a breaking ball. And he throws it to Boggs, and he's ready for it. He hammered it.
Now Mark Whitten will get a shot. Low inside for a ball.
Mets tried to trick play with the infield as we look at the bobble by Everett that allows Boggs to go to second base. It looked like he was playing soccer in right field. There's Boggs just ahead of the throw. The Mets started with the infield back, then the infield was charged in as the pitch was about to come to the plate.
Well, first base is open. Only one away. And the pitch fouled off to the right side. 5-3. The Yankees now lead it here in the bottom of the 7th inning. The Yankees have banged out 11 hits against the Mets.
See, Whitten's got the right idea. All he has to do is jump over on the other side of the plate.
You had the right idea.
Yeah.
You could jump over on the other side of the plate.
Didn't always work, but
I was
at least
the only
you could
dummy.
do it.
2-1. Bobby Valentine with his infield now will be pulled in. They will try to cut the runoff at home. Whitten couldn't hold up, and it's strike 2.
This could be a key at bat in this ball game. Chance for the Yankees to add to their 5-3 lead. Ricardo Jordan trying to keep them off the board. Any further damage here in the 7th inning.
And did he hold up? They will have asked for the appeal, and that Shulock at first said no, he did not go around. Now it's 3-2. Well, with first base open, as we take another look at that check swing.
It was close, but one thing he did, brought that bat back right away.
There you see Kelly at third, and Boggs down at second. Only one out. Did he go around? Another appeal, and Shulock says no. So the bases are loaded. That was going to be my point with first base open. You don't know what you're going to see 3-2 after you've seen all those other pitches 3-1 with first base open.
Well, Jordan's going to see the dugout now as Bob Apodaca has come out to the mound, and the Mets going to make another pitching change.
Hey, the Mets are getting into this this American League Baseball after the 7th inning with all the shoe contracts and everything. Well, they are trying to keep it as close as they can. It's 5-3. Yankees in front, and the Yankees are looking for more here in the 7th. So we're going to have another pitching change, and while we do that, we'll take a break. We'll do the 4th pitching change now for the Mets in this game. And you remember McMichael with the Atlanta Braves last year, so the Mets decided that they wanted to shore up their bullpen by bringing in some veteran guys that's been in the postseason play before. That's the first time as we flash back that Wade Boggs has faced the Mets since 1986. You remember this.
And that's hit in the alley in left center, but it's slicing, and Mookie can't get it. It's going to the wall. Boggs into second base with a stand-up double.
That's a typical Wade Boggs swing and hit.
New York fans.
And just moments ago, Boggs doing this for the Yankees. Different ballpark, different uniform, and still producing.
New York fans might have recognized the dulcet tones of Vin Scully calling the World Series back in '86.
Well, this is Chad Curtis against McMichael. One out, and Chad fouling the first pitch back and out of play.
Vin Scully, who went west with the Dodgers. And, of course, the Dodgers and the Giants leaving. Then the Mets came into being in 1962.
He's out there calling that three-way series now. The Angels and the Dodgers playing tonight. Big inning potential for the Yankees here. Hit into the gap, right field. Moving over, though, is Everett. Kelly will tag up and come on to score. It will be a 6-3 lead, so Curtis does his job as he drives in a run.
So the error by the Mets, and one thing that has happened in New York this year, they are a better defensive club. They made 2 errors this inning, and has helped lead to a couple of runs by the Yankees. You can see Everett going back to make the catch, but that ball was hit deep enough, and that enabled Pat Kelly to score from third base. And we were talking about the Braves, Greg McMichael, longtime Atlanta Brave, and one of the reasons when Bobby Cox took over, that the Braves, who had been a last place team, their defense got a lot better and their pitching got better. And I think that's the same thing that's kind of happening to the Mets.
This is Girardi. Nothing new for Girardi and McMichael. Of course, Girardi facing McMichael in World Series play. You're absolutely right. The Mets last year, they led the National League in errors, and they're about 4th or 5th in fielding in the National League this year, so they've really improved that. Whitten takes off, but the pitch is foul back and out of play.
You got to cut down your mistakes and give your pitchers a chance to get back in the dugout. I mean, you start handing out those 4th and 5th chances in an inning, like the Mets have done this inning, you're going to give up some runs.
An 0-2 count to Girardi with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th inning, and the Yankees lead it 6-3.
There's that play that's only allowed to work on July 4th when you want some extra fireworks.
I'm sure Box has seen that play a few times. So has Whitten. Franco at third will throw out Girardi. But the Yankees come back here in the bottom of the 7th inning with a couple of base hits and 2 runs. So we go to the top of the 8th, and the Yankees 6-3 over the Mets. David Wells will be pitching in the top of the 8th inning with a 6-3 lead. And this is Bobby Mercer along with Ken Singleton as Carlos Baerga will lead it off for the Mets. Baerga 1 for 2. Well, we've seen some pretty good baseball tonight from both ball clubs. And David Wells with 13 in a row that he has set down. He struggled a bit in the 1st and the 3rd, but since that time it's been all David Wells, and strike 1 to Baerga leading off. Only 92 pitches as he pitches here in the 8th inning, so pitch count is pretty good. Boy, you have to ride those percentages, though, Ken, when you look at David Wells, and of course the Yankees had it in mind in what he did at Yankee Stadium in his win-loss record here, above 800. And so throws out Baerga, 1 gone. Kashiwada now warming up for the Mets. Franco will step in.
Bottom 3rd of the order for the Mets here. Well, Franco has gotten some hits in this series. Has a hit tonight, scored a run. Scored 3 runs in this series. Had 2 hits last night, scored a couple of runs.
Now Mike Stanton gets up for the Yankees. Well, Franco, I mean, you know, he's got all those pinch hits for the Mets coming off the bench. He's been forced into playing every day at third with Alfonso hurt. Takes a special hitter to be able to come off the bench, prepare himself for that one at bat. He could be sitting on the bench for 7, 8, 9 innings, and then they expect him to do the job.
I didn't like pinch hitting.
Well, you didn't pinch hit that much.
No, I didn't. That's one reason why I didn't like it.
I enjoyed it towards the latter part of my career. It gave me a chance to watch a movie or two and get a couple of hot dogs before they called on me. So I was well prepared.
Well fed.
The guys used to get on me because they claim, and I don't know if this is true or not, they claim that I went to the plate one time with mustard all over my face and got a base hit to win the ball game. I have no idea where I got the mustard, though.
You usually put mustard on hot dogs, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Relish the thought.
Oh, nice going. 2-2, 1 out. Easy play for Martinez, and there's 2 gone here in the 8th inning. The crowd is a little quiet for the Yankees being ahead here in the 8th inning. In my opinion, I mean, about 2 innings ago, they were really loud, and they were on their feet each and every time a Met came to the plate. But they have settled down.
You might hear things pick up in the bottom of the 8th, or you might hear things pick up certainly the top of the 9th.
As Lopez with 2 outs, batting for the Mets. 6-3, the Yankees lead it. Right side, and if it stays close, Martinez will glove it. I think that's the camera well down there, isn't it? Because the Yankees have added some new seats along that side with Stanton and now Jeff Nelson warm for the Yankees.
Here's a look at Tito trying to measure and reach at the right time, but just out of his reach. See that little girl right there? Oh, wonder if she got the ball.
That'll leave the count up at 1-1. Lopez 0 for 2. And the breaking ball down in the dirt. Now it's 2-1. For a moment, it looked like the crowd was trying to start the old wave here at Yankee Stadium. And you see Johnson on deck for the Mets. Be one of those half waves, because you got half Yanks and, or at least 60% Yankee fans and some mixture of Met fans in here. Can't get them to go along with each other. Into the gap, right center field. Curtis on a run. He won't catch up with this one. It'll go all the way to the wall. Lopez will have a 2-out double here in the 8th inning.
That will break the string for David Wells.
15 in a row before that double by Lopez.
Well, the target is inside. I think the pitch is going to be towards the middle. Yeah, it is. And up. And Louis Lopez rides it to the gap in right center field. Chad Curtis, only thing he can do is retrieve. You know, in a way here, if Wells can retire Lance Johnson, that means he won't be leading off the 9th inning. And, you know, this type of guy is an igniter. Here's Mariano, still with the jacket on.
Stanton and Nelson in the bullpen. And a check swing foul left side. Johnson 2 for 3. Run scored. Check that 1 run scored.
Jeter made a good play on him in the 6th inning. As I mark my scorecard, I usually mark the good defensive plays. And on my scorecard tonight, I've got 5 excellent defensive plays by the Yankees. A couple by Jeter. Got one by Luis Sojo in the first inning, turning that double play. And Paul O'Neill in right field with a nice sliding catch. They're going to the computer printouts.
Well, this is the time that, especially in the American League, you try to get that right matchup, pitcher against hitter. And managers, pitching coaches, bench coaches always looking ahead to see if they can't figure that matchup out. And they use the stats to do it. Strike two to Johnson. 1-2 now. Well, you mentioned Johnson being the igniter. He led the major leagues in hits last year. And certainly a guy that gets on the base pass. Now the crowd will get into this one. With 2 outs and 2 strikes on Johnson.
Yeah, they were just saving up their energy for the right situation.
Sojo will throw out Johnson, and no harm done here in the 8th inning as the Mets. Well, back at the stadium. Let's take a look at the game summary brought to you by Tri-State Jeep and Eagle Dealer. And it's been all Yankees, 6-3. And Girardi in the second with an RBI, but that 2-out double by Jeter, that's the one who really broke the Mets back. And then Sojo, an RBI double. Gilkey with a 2-run home run in the third. And Boggs came through in the 7th inning with an RBI single. And Chad Curtis with that sacrifice fly in the 7th. The Yankees scored 2. And the Yankees will come to bat here in the bottom of the 8th as Mel Stottlemyre with a smile on his face, and I'm not so sure that may be all for David Wells. That's kind of the way they're reacting, with the pat on the back like job well done. So we'll see. And we've got a new pitcher for the Mets, Takashi Kashiwada. Yeah, just hang with me. Takes us Oklahomans just a little bit longer. So Kashiwada will become the 5th Met pitcher used tonight, and he will be pitching to Jeter, leading off. Top of the lineup coming up for the Yankees.
Kashiwada did his pitching in Japan for the Yomiuri Giants, who like the New York Yankees and the Dallas Cowboys, rolled into one over in Japan.
And a little check swing bouncer back to Kashiwada, and there's one away. So with the Yankees leading 6-3, that a call to the bullpen will be for Rivera in the 9th inning. And of course, Bobby Valentine spent some. Well, he was the only American League or American manager to manage in Japan, and so he spent some time over there. He knows Hideki Arabu very well. He managed Arabu, as a matter of fact, and talking to him before today's ball game. Of course, everybody wants to know about Arabu. We haven't seen him. He says he's definitely for real, and he's a hard worker, and it won't take him long to get back into shape. So one gone, and this will be Sojo.
That's a pretty good scouting report from the guy who managed him.
And I said, well, weren't the Mets in the running for Arabu? And he said, yeah, we sure were, but we lost out. By all reports, the Yankees really have a prize in Arabu. Two balls, no strikes to Sojo here in the 8th inning with one gone.
Now this should be interesting. Kashiwada does not speak all that much English, and of course I guess you got to go low, keep ball low, and then Hundley, I guess he informed him of what he wants to know, and Kashiwada still makes his home in Tokyo. The Mets got Kashiwada for cash considerations from the Yomiuri Giants.
That's a called strike. Now it's 2-1. Well, before today's ball game, the translator and somebody that spent some time with Bobby Valentine in Japan, looking at the monuments here at Monument Park, Ryuji Takibana So he's the interpreter for Kashiwada.
He's also,
the
strength coach,
yeah.
assistant. Yeah. You know, I'm sure that Kashiwada, during his days with the Yomiuri Giants, he saw a lot of big crowds because they, like I said, they are very popular. And they have a new dome stadium in Tokyo that so fans there know there's going to be a ball game.
Inside and low, ball 4. So one man on now with one out here in the 8th inning for the Yankees as we take a look at some interleague play around baseball. And Cleveland 5-1 over Cincinnati. And Florida continues their winning ways, beating Detroit 3-2. Atlanta finally best the Blue Jays. And Baltimore now leads Montreal 4-3. So that 10-game winning streak looks like it may be in jeopardy for Montreal. Paul O'Neill will step in. Foul back and out of play.
You know, Tokyo, one of the, I guess, even bigger city than New York as far as population is concerned. We went on a tour over there a few years ago. Well, actually, a long time ago.
1983? 81.
84, we went on a tour and played the Tokyo Giants. And they routinely draw 3.5 million fans.
Of course, baseball is their #1 sport in Japan.
And Mike Flanagan, a longtime Oriole left-hander, mentioned, well, it's easy to draw that many fans when you got 8 million fans live within 3 blocks of the stadium.
O'Neill 2 for 3 tonight. Now it's 1-2 on O'Neill. Yankees lead at 6-3 here at the bottom of the 8th inning. And some more scores as the White Sox 5-2 over the Cubs. That game's not over with yet. 4-3 Milwaukee over St. Louis in the battle of the freeways. Minnesota 13-1 over Pittsburgh in the 9th inning. And kind of a low-scoring game at Coors Field. And the breaking ball misses outside. Now it's 2-2.
You see St. Louis and Milwaukee, the beer battle. The beer
That's
cities,
right.
yeah.
That would be right, with maybe a little cheese thrown in there. And a check swing. The appeal was denied. So it'll be 3-2 with 1 away. We'll see what Soho does at first. Andy Pettit, who pitched last night's game, and the Mets beating him 6-0. And the breaking ball on 3-2 misses outside, ball 4. So 2 men on for the Yankees. That'll bring up Pat Kelly. And once again, here comes Bobby Valentine. They've made some trips to the mound tonight, the New York Mets have. Of course, Bobby probably a little bit better in, I think he does speak a little bit Japanese, doesn't he? He learned something over in Japan, just enough to get by anyway.
I think a fastball is a shuto. If I remember correctly. Well, he probably said, get that shuto over.
What is Korean?
That's a beer.
Oh.
I remember that.
You know the pitches.
Yeah.
I know the other thing. All right, Kelly will bat because he pinch ran for Cecil Fielder back in the 7th inning. So he'll get a chance with 2 men on, 1 out. And that's down low. Ball 1.
So you did remember something from your trip to Japan.
Yeah. One of the important things.
Ohio gozaimasu was good morning. Remember that? You don't remember? Ohio gozaimasu.
Ohio, yeah.
And hi means yes.
Hi.
Yeah.
Well, you don't have to. You're bowing when you're saying that.
Well, I remember that they seem to bow all the time when you say yes. It's just and the deeper the bow, the more respect.
Yeah. Just got underneath it. Sends it into center field. The runners are tagging, and they will try to go to third, and Soho just barely makes it underneath the slap tag. He hesitated just for a moment. The one thing you don't want to do is end an inning trying to go to an extra base. So no harm done, I guess.
Now, if there's any weakness in Lance Johnson's defensive game, now he can go get him, but his arm is not very strong. Soho started, stopped, and then started again. Maybe he was trying to fake him out in center field. Now watch. There he goes. Yeah, I better turn it on now. And the headlong dive will get him in just ahead of the tag from Franco. Woo.
That was close. Now runners at first and for the Yankees, and Tino will have a chance to drive in a run. He's 0 for 3 tonight. From what I remember, most of the Japanese pitchers always had some kind of a herky-jerky type of motion, and they used that as, you know, one of their pieces in their repertoire, along with they really couldn't throw the ball that hard, but they'd use a lot of that funky motion, and that just misses outside.
Yeah, we saw the video of Arabu, which was, he kind of has that herky-jerky motion, but he's a big guy. He's about 6'4", 240, and he can get it up there in a hurry. As you watch Kashiwada.
And the slurve swung on, foul back and out of play.
Tell you one thing, during our tours over there, they treat you like kings. I mean, anything you want as a major league ball player, and they give you gifts when you hit home runs. When you hit a home run, they give you a gift at home plate.
Why am I acting like I haven't received any gifts? 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th. Yankees lead at 6-3. Fly ball to left field. So as Gilkey puts it away, the Yankees leave a couple of men on and fail to score here in the 8th inning. That was Mariano warmed up. And talking about change with the Yankees up 6-3 here in the top of the 9th inning. The Yankees make a pitching change, and who else is it but Mariano Rivera? 21 saves on the year. He will try to make it 22 and at least gain the Yankees a tie with the New York Mets in this 3-game series. And it won't be easy with Gilkey, Olerud, and Hundley, the scheduled 3 hitters. Ball 1 to Gilkey. Gilkey 1 for 3 tonight, but it was a 2-run home run shot back in the 3rd. Mariano is now fallen behind 2-0. Well, you know, being from the Mets, Ken, I'm sure they've read the papers about Mariano Rivera. First time to get a chance to look at him, though.
They also heard the cheers when Mariano came in from the bullpen, so they know that this is the man for the Yankees out of the pen that usually closes things out.
And Gilkey decides to take a 2-0 pitch. It's in there for a called strike.
Now, there was a time, Bobby, but it's not now.
Now it's 2-2.
.91 miles an hour. You can get a speeding ticket going that fast.
Struck him out. Mariano fell behind 2-0, came back to strike him out. 1 gone.
You know what? It looks like it's a little harder than the last one. I'd give it a 92 on the radar gun. That nice compact delivery. You know, sometimes it'll throw a hitter off. The pitcher has a nice smooth delivery, and all of a sudden you go to swing and there's nothing but air.
Well, nice smooth delivery, and 92 miles an hour it comes in there. This is Olerud. Strike one to Olerud. Yankees have done a good job on Olerud tonight. He's 0 for 3. He put the hurt on the Yanks last night, though. That may be a broken bat foul ball. Mariano looking for some lumber, and he got it. So Olerud will get some new lumber, and he will walk to the plate behind 0-2 with one gone here in the 9th inning.
Well, we talk about more noise in the 9th. You're getting it.
Lines it into left field for a base hit. So Olerud, you can see, with some quick hands, and he got on top of that fastball. So the first hit for Olerud.
According to the radar gun, the target is set upstairs, but somehow he got on top of a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. See the target of Girardi? He wants it, even if it's not a strike, he wants it up. And Olerud saw it and hit it.
So Todd Hundley will bat for the first time from the left side against Rivera, and he's looking for his first base hit. Mets with 7 hits in the game. Ball 1. Hundley batting .287 from the left side. He's a better hitter average-wise from the right side, but he has more home runs this side. And with that quick bat, he pulls it foul.
Well, this is a guy you didn't want to face representing the tying run, and that's not the case. By getting Gilkey out, striking him out to begin the inning, even though Olerud got a base hit.
And that's Husky waiting on deck. But it's all up to Rivera, and he is starting to really feel comfortable in that role. When you look out there, there's nobody else warming up if you get into trouble. It's me and 56,253 looking on. Plus millions looking on here on the WB11. Popped him up into left field. And there's 2 away. Well, we're down to our last out here in this game, and this is what it looked like last night. And Malicki on the mound. And his best pitching performance of 1997 as he shut the Yankees down 6-0. And the first complete game in his career. So all he could do tonight from the bench is holler out some encouragement as the Mets try to battle back in this 9th inning. They're down 6-3, 1 man on, 2 men out, and this is Husky, their last hope. And Husky appeared that he may want to bunt his way on. Of course, they need 1 more man on to get that tying run to the plate. Another one up high, 2-0.
Pair of number 42 squaring off here at the end of the ball game.
Now it's 2-1. As we saw Jimmy Leyland in Miami pace up and down the dugout, Bobby V has that pace going here in the 9th inning. Inside almost got away from Girardi. So Mariano has fallen behind Husky 3-1. One thing you don't want to do is bring that tying run to the plate.
Joe Torre trying to remind Girardi to tell Mariano, keep that front shoulder tucked, flying out a little too quick.
Good swing by Husky, but he got underneath it a bit, found it out of play. So this will bring the fans to their feet. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away here in the 9th. Yankees lead it 6-3. Popped him up into right field. O'Neill puts it away, and the Yankees tie this series by beating the Mets 6-3 this evening. And Mariano has picked up his 22nd save of 1997. He showed me something tonight because he fell behind a couple of these hitters and he came back to get them. And Doc Good with a smile on his face. And years ago, you wouldn't have seen that smile from Doc being a Met. But not tonight. He's a New York Yankee. And this Subway Series has really been something so far. And we'll go to tomorrow's game to find out who will be the winner out of this 3-game series. David Wells gets another shot to redeem himself and did a fine job tonight.
He certainly did. Picks up his 8th win of the year, now 8-3. And we'll watch Mariano as he comes to the dugout with the ball, and it looks like a Yankee fan's going to go home happy with a souvenir of the first Yankee win in the Subway Series.
Well, we had 56,253 here tonight, and they're going to go home happy. Most of them are anyway. Take another look at this last out as Husky flies into right field. Yankees win it 6-3. And we'll be back to wrap it up right after this.
249 did not see the big hurt, but did see Doug Drabek get Brian McRae looking in the first. And the next batter, Brant Brown, rips one to center field. Dave Martinez, who's playing there tonight, makes the diving catch. And that was not all for Martinez. Ho, no. He would come to bat in the bottom of the first with Ray Durham. And he's our pick to click. A 2-run shot, his 7th. 2-0 White Sox. Yes. Drabek still had it early. 3-0 Sox in the 3rd. Brian McRae looking again. Drabek's 4th strikeout, tied a season high. The top of the 4th, things would change for Drabek. Bases juiced for Rhino. Rips it underneath the glove of Chris Snopek, Mark Gray, Sammy Sosa. Make it a 3-2 ball game. It's now 4-2 White Sox, top of the 7th. Kevin Ory facing Matt Karchner, and Ory rips one nowhere, as a matter of fact. He swings and misses. This is Kevin Ory hitting one deep to left. Albert Bell on the run, makes the diving crab. 5-3 is your final in this one. The White Sox put it on the board. And take one from the Cubs in this series. Drabek allowed 2 runs in 6 innings to improve to 17-11 lifetime against the Cubs. Facing Damian Easley. Easley rips one to left. 6 foot 4-inch Cliff Floyd. Why do we say how tall he is? Because he leaps and makes the catch. We need him on that wall. Bottom of the 4th, Phil Nevin. Linesman to right, Gary Sheffield. Makes the diving grab. Still 1-0 Marlins. It's now tied at 1 in the bottom of the 7th. Curtis Pride with a man up. Rips one to right center, Phil Nevin.
And the ball gets by Sheffield.
Scores, and Pride ends up on 3rd with a triple. It's 2-1 Tigers. Top of the 8th. The Marlins try to answer with Kurt Abbott on 1st and 2 outs. Gary Sheffield at the plate. Rips one down the left field line. Pride falls down on the warning track. And Abbott's going to come all the way around from 1st, and he is going to be safe. We are tied at 2 to the top of the 9th when Bobby Bonilla got every last inch, centimeter of this baseball over the roof and gone. It was Barry Manilow's 51st birthday today, so you might say Bobby Poe came and he gave without taking.
Wow.
See you. 459 feet. It's only the 33rd homer to clear the roof at Tiger Stadium.
This year.
Yeah, this year, and it's only the first to ever be attached to a line from Mandy.
Costly one for the Braves and a costly one for the guy who brought the baseballs. Ryan Klesko, it's deep and I don't think it's playable. Off Louis Andahar. 3-run homer, number 12, 3-zip Braves. 4-3 in the 7th. Kenny Lofton off Ed Sprague's glove. Blauser scores, but Lofton, out of the picture, is injured on the play. The replay, watch him turn the bag and then out. It is a sore left groin, his own, we hope. He's day-to-day. We're all day-to-day. 2 batters later, still 2 on. One of the great clutch hitters unknown in the game. Keith Lockhart with another 2-run triple as the pinch runner Mordecai and Tucker score. Braves lead 8-3. Braves 8-5 in the 8th. Sean Green off Mike Bilecki. Sean's already homered once, or he's homered twice. 8-7 Jays now trailing. Another Brave goes down, though. Michael Tucker walks off, no word on his condition. 3 steps, and then he doubled over in pain. The pain was all Toronto's, thank you. Joe Carter lines to third with 2 on, 1 out in the 9th. It's a 5-4-3 game-ending double play if you're scoring at home or even if you're alone in the hotel at Sky Dome. 8-7, Green with the 2 homers. Greg Maddux preview the Bucks and the Twins. Esteban Loaiza, 19 strikes on 22 pitches through 2, and then Denny Hocking. You know how old I am? A friend of mine coached Denny Hocking's youth soccer team. Darren Jackson scored, and then Roberto Kelly doubles to bring in Greg Myers off the hefty bag. 4 twin runs in less than 5 minutes if you're running a clock on this game. Bottom of the 5th, 2 men on. Scott Stohubiak. Here comes Molitor. Oh, God. Here comes Kelly. 6-0 Twins, and your next batter will be Marty Cordova. And the rich Corinthian leather of that one down the line. It's the hats. It's the Pirates Road hats. Stohoviak scores. Twins edge the Pirates. 13-1 is the final. LaTroy Hawkins was called back from the minors where he was in the Orioles. The message from Eric Davis before the game to the faithful at Camden Yards, the news of his cancer of the colon. Everyone thinking of him. Brady Anderson adding number 24 to his helmet. Bottom of the 2nd, it's 1-0 Orioles when Anderson does something about it. Lonnie Webster scores easily. Mike Bordick trying to score, and they're not gonna get him. He's out. But then so is Darren Fletcher. 2-0 Orioles. Gets up limping. Right ankle is twisted. The x-rays, though, were negative. He left the game with a ligament sprain in the right ankle, and that's how you get one. Top of the 3rd, the Expos trail the Orioles 3-1 with a man at first. Mark Grudzelanek takes the pitch. No, that's the first baseman not helping there, but what about Alomar? Is that incredible? Can we see that again? No. Ends the inning. Top of the 4th, Expos still down 3. Well, you see it every day, right? Henry Rodriguez. That does not seem to be as 443 feet. And it has pinned the tail on the donkey night among pitchers. What is going on here? Arthur Rhodes takes one off the knee from Rondell White in obvious agony and was forced to leave the game, but as we told you, it is not serious injury. It's a bad bruise. Top of the 8th, Expos down 4-3. Jose Vidro is at first, the tying run. Benitez got him at 100 miles an hour on the fast gun. Then 5-4 in the 9th. Bases loaded for the Expos. Randall Kirkmeyer facing Andy Stankiewicz. Pretty good pinch hitter, but I think that's your ball game. And the Orioles beat the Expos yet again, 5-4. The Expo win streak is halted at 10.